Hello, everybody. We are here. We are live. Yes, we are live. Brilliant. Cool. Sorry about the rather delayed start. There's been a few technical issues around. I don't know. Don't know what you call it.
I was also late, so don't worry.
Yeah, we'll blame Fiona, actually. It wasn't anything to do with technical issues. It's all just Fiona.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Excellent. So, welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of Things from the Flood, Village of the Lost. I think I've called it different things in different places, but I'm going with Village of the Lost today. So, but yeah, cool. I've managed to get bots working on Twitch, which is cool. So as you've seen, I've already put up a content warning on it all. I know technology is good, isn't it? I've also given everybody their names, so you now know who is playing who and their Twitter handles, except one person who doesn't seem to like Twitter or social media or just being social in any way, shape, or form. So, whatever. Right. Now, I know I usually say, I like last week I said I start the episodes of my podcast and everything up with what I'm drinking, but I was drinking tea. I've now finished my tea, and I'm pacing myself because tonight is that wonderful thing of Eurovision Song Contest. And apparently I'm going to be doing things after this for it, so I'm going to take things slowly for that. I might open a drink later. But yeah, again, we are back, and I'm joined with, we will go in a clockwise circle. We are joined with Sirion.
Yes, hi, I'm Sirion, and I'm playing Jane today again.
Cool. Who has a maths exam.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
Dun, dun, dun. The true horror of the game. And my camera is just being really fuzzy, and I keep phasing in and out. Blame Mac, not Mac. Blame Windows computers. Then down we have Rob.
Hello, I'm Rob, and I am playing Jack, a very awkward 15-year-old. It should say Rob there. I think I've confused matters.
Yes, you confused me.
Jack there. Could that just say Rob? I just wanted my surname off, but it's fine. It's all good, but don't put my name there because people need to know who I am.
No, I'm going to just delete all of it and blank you out. And then we have our bodiless voice from the void down at the very bottom, Mr. Tom.
And I'm infecting you. One day you will also be without a body. Your camera is already working on it. Yeah, I'm Tom Meyer, also master of plates and a 17-year-old Henry who will maybe be able today or later to just get one straight sentence out there. This is my personal goal. Maybe one straight sentence.
We'll see. I know it's odd for you because you're actually on the opposite side of the game for once. So whenever I start playing games, I'm always going, how do I play and not run a game? I don't understand this.
The control verlust. Yeah, that's an English word, like from the beginning to the end. The loss of control is tangible.
That's a fabulous word.
I love it.
Yeah.
Cool. And then finally we have Sarah. I was going to call you Sarah there, but you're actually Fiona.
I know. I do look like a Sarah, so it's fine. Hi, everyone. I'm playing Sarah, your local jock / cross-country runner whose parents own the chip shop, who definitely has not hidden a body by the bins. No.
No. There's nothing in there. Don't go looking down there. Cool.
Don't worry about it.
Yep. Cool. And I am David, the drunken storyteller. Not drunk today yet. I'm going to say something, and I'm going to see if the bot works for this. And I was going to say this last week, and I forgot. But because we have a cross-country runner in the group, I thought I'd promote this as well. I am running the London Marathon because I'm an idiot.
Oh shoot! Amazing.
So, I'm currently in training for that, and if you look in the chat, no, that's not how you do it. So yeah, I'm running the London Marathon, and I'm running it for a charity called No Man is an Island, and they're a HPV awareness charity. You can find out information if you look in the chat. Find the link to their website, and you can find a link to donate. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. And now we've done that, and I've just scared everybody off out of the chat with that. They've all just disappeared. No one's watching now. We shall begin the game. So, at the end of last week, you had all gone home after finding this skeleton in the Derwent reservoir. It is now a headless skeleton, and it is a skeleton that is probably in a few boxes in the back of a Chippy behind the bins. You then had a bit of an interaction with people, because the way the game works, there's the mystery, and then there's your teenagers. There's real life. You've got exams. You've got to go to school. You've got homework to do. So we had a bit of that. Jane, unfortunately, had a bit of a upsetting time with her mum. We might see how that plays out later. Jack decided that he wanted to just try and draw and just be a grumpy teenager and hide in his bedroom with loud music and many, many Nine Inch Nails hoodies. Henry visited his friend, who was playing really badly, playing some songs on the guitar. And Sarah was hiding bodies in her parents' Chippy.
Hang on. You make it sound like everyone else had a really cool evening and then I just stuffed stuff behind the bins. like the ne'er-do-well I am. Hang on.
Well, you did, and then you went out and delivered some fish, some takeaways.
Yeah, but it's such a small part of my evening.
Yeah, and we left it there. You are nowhere near anywhere I thought you would be in this story, so I might just poke you if you decide to spend like an hour and a half trying to decide whether you want to get in a boat again or not. So, yeah, we are going to move on in time. We are going to move to Monday now. It is the day after your discovery. And you are all in school. I think Jane said that her exam was today. Was it today? I don't know.
No, only
okay.
this week sometime.
At some point, we'll say it's Friday. All exams or anything that's going to happen can be on Friday.
Oh.
It's a bit more time.
A bit more time to
study for it.
Study. Yeah, so you're actually just in school now. School here will start at 8:30 in the morning. You'll have like 15 minutes of just kind of turning up and fucking around and meeting your friends. Then you'll be called into form and take the register, and then you'll have your first lesson at like 9 o'clock in the morning. So what time do you all turn up then to school? Generally, most people would turn up between 8:15 and 8:45. You'd have to be in your class at 8:45 in the morning. So what kind of time would you turn up? I'm just going to say, for the sake of argument, that sixth form also follows the same rule as lower school. Otherwise, then we have this whole weird thing where you lot don't turn up and Jack is in school all by himself.
Oh,
8:45, definitely. True to form.
Just straight to form. Ignore everybody.
Yeah. Last minute, get there as fast as I can, but don't want to be in school for a minute more than I have to be.
Stomping around in DMs as your school shoes?
I thought you meant private messaging there. It's just stomping around in someone's DMs.
I hate this. This Applebee's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd never become cool enough to wear Dr. Martens to school. So in like my Clark's knockoff Dr. Martens. Professor Michaels, that's what I'm walking my way around.
It makes you so sad.
So sad. And this is at the time when Doc Martens were kind of
like
pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. Good
Not
quality,
the crap they produce nowadays.
So I'm wearing Professor Michaels boots, hard-wearing boots.
Cool. All right, what about the other three? So, Henry, what time would you turn up?
I would be there at 8:20. Head on my arms at my desk, trying to sleep and waiting that, school day will be over. I hate being late and I also hate being here. So
Cool.
This is the way I'm usually spending my breaks as well. Like getting that sleep that I lost to some books in the night.
What books were you reading last night? Was there anything about skeletons or Derwent Water or chips, microchipping people?
I think it probably I went to my father's office that night. He has a very tiny office in our house, and it's crammed with a lot of stuff and many books. Most of them are more on the technical side of things. I don't understand too much of them, so I find them terribly boring. But there are some old science fiction pieces, and next to them was a book that I've always dismissed because it just had a very torn up blue paperback, and it doesn't look too interesting except for one little icon on the lower end of the back, and it does look like the patterns on a microchip. So I pulled that one out and found it to be not as horrible to read as the other stuff my father has.
Cool. Yeah. Is your because I know last session you were talking about your dad might know something about like the military and working with cleanups and stuff. Is your dad around at the moment, or is he away on business?
He should be at home, but what I understood is that he left before I arrived back late in the evening. And he was, it's if he is home, he would usually be back at 8 p.m. and he wasn't there. So,
So a man who might know some things disappears or doesn't come home and goes to work at a time when weird stuff happens. Cool. Right, we'll move on to. I'm going to come to Sarah last because we're going to do a little bit of a rule thing for you because you're exhausted, and we're going to talk about conditions and things. So,
cool.
Jane, what's Jane doing? What time does she turn up? And how is she feeling about the last night with her mum?
Well, she's rushing in, I think, 8:40 or so. And she has a really tired expression on her face. Seems she hasn't gotten enough sleep this night either. So that's the second night in a row. And, well, that last evening was, well, not so enjoyable. And, well, she's still in an uproar about all that. So she tried to study for the maths exam after the talk with her mother, but it wasn't very successful.
So with relationships with your family and things, I will let you take the lead on this because you're the child and they're your parents. I will feed ideas in every now and then. So as we saw last week, we had an incident with Jane's mum. I don't know Jane's mum. That's Jane's mum. So I'm going to, and this is one of the things that the rule book states as well with it. It's cooperative storytelling. So it's your family, you tell me, and I want to we'll play off each other in that way with those kind of experiences. So at the moment, it seems that you're all ignoring each other and just going straight to school. So this is cool. Split the party. Cool.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
and we'll come to Sarah now. We'll do the first little bit of thing of rules.
Yep.
So conditions. I will get quickly the rule book so I can. With conditions, they do go away. They can
Yeah.
go away. So depending on what the condition is that you've got, kind of depends on how you get rid of it. I should have picked the book up and not left it down there beforehand. So you are with currently the exhausted condition, aren't you?
Yes, exhausted I am because I ran so far, so fast, all for nothing.
all for a policeman to steal your information.
Who knew they would steal? They should be the ones protecting me, and yet I cannot be protected by the police. Who knew?
Yes, cool. Okay, so I was trying to think of a song or something from the 90s that I could use, but I think
911 is a joke.
Yeah.
I was going to say fuck the police, but I think that's a little bit.
That's a bit too soon.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's exhausted. So the conditions you can have: upset, scared, exhausted, and injured. To get rid of a condition, you have to do a role play situation that states why you get rid of it. Now, you were exhausted.
Yeah.
You probably didn't remove the exhausted condition in the evening because you were running around doing takeaway deliveries. But then you got home and you've had a night's rest. You'll wake up in the morning, you'll probably be stiff because you've not properly warmed down and done the right kind of stretching and stuff that you should from your run. But the body, you'll be stiff and you'll be sore, but you won't be exhausted anymore.
Okay.
So a night's sleep can remove the exhausted condition. And I'm going to say it does here because of the way you gained the exhausted condition. So if you get injured somehow, like you cut your hand on something, then that's probably two days or so to kind of maybe heal up a little bit and stuff. So it's kind of, again, it's an entire role play thing. You can't just go, oh, look, here's a magic potion. I'm going to get 1d4 extra health points back. This game is all about the story and story-driven role playing. So cool. Sure. You are stiff and you're tired. I don't know whether you've caught a cold or not, having run around and spent a lot of the time of the day in gym wear, active wear. Go onto YouTube and look up active wear video. It's amazing.
It is such a good video. Yeah, I was thinking about all of last week when we were doing this show. So I guess my caveat would be, I would be like waking up like, oh, thank God, it's still Sunday. Realizing it is not Sunday, and I just flip over and it's definitely 10 past 9 on the clock. So I'm officially late for school.
Oh dear. Okay. What would have been your first lesson, and who was the teacher, and would they have been nice to you?
Oh no, Sarah. No, what did I say? School is awful, except for cross country. I like running, so it's definitely not PE. It's gonna be it's gonna be like we kind of just
you're in sixth form, so you can kind of technically choose your subjects. So I
can, but I just because I was looking at the chat, like I like the idea that Jane and Henry and Sarah share a class because obviously we're all similar age. So I guess I kind of leave it up to you guys. Like, what is the first class? It will be something that Sarah's crap at, so it's not going to be good anyway. But maybe something that both Henry and Jane are okay at or enjoy, I guess.
So I'll let you three decide, unless Jack just wants to throw a subject at you, and that's the lesson it is. Because
something that Tom and Henry and Jane are good at: German.
Oh no! It is. It is.
I think there's an unfair advantage there on that.
No,
one.
It's perfect. 1,000%.
Guten Morgen, Frau Fischer.
Yeah. Miss Fischer or Frau Fischer.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm. There we go. I'm going to change Rob's name because it's annoying me that his name is not there. But yeah, so you go to German. How does she react to the fact that you're late?
Oh, Frau Fischer, I think at one point she would have been cross and sent me out again, but it's happened too many times. So I sort of like this time I think sidle in a little bit, like, and like it's definitely obvious that I'm late, and then like she probably just says at the top in German, which I will not repeat because I will be terrible, but it was like, take a detention slip, Sarah. Like I'm like, yeah, whatever. Fine, sit down. And it's like, ugh. Phew. But it's like nearly, I'd say 10 minutes before the end of the lesson because it's taken me so long to get in.
Cool. Yep. Right. So we will move on throughout the day. So you've had a few lessons for the day. Sarah's been spoken to quite sternly by Frau Fisher, and is probably not feeling great about that. We'll say it is now lunchtime, so it's probably like 12:30, and so this now gives you a chance to kind of get together if you want to and talk about what the fuck happened yesterday. Or you can just ignore each other and go into the canteen, or because you, Sarah, Henry and Jane, you are sixth form, you are allowed to leave sight. You're allowed to leave the school grounds at lunchtime. Jack, however, is not. That probably doesn't stop him.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to immediately try and latch on because I do want to talk about yesterday. So if the moment I see Henry, Jane, or Sarah, I'm gonna sort of make up an excuse to quickly talk to them. Cool. And yeah, maybe if you're walking out, that would make sense actually. I smuggle in with the three of you. Yeah, I'll gate hang so we can talk a bit privately rather than in school about it.
Cool. So let's say you managed to convince your we'll say period 4 teacher that it's 5 minutes before the end of the lesson, but you desperately have to go to the bathroom, and you're like, sorry, sir, please let me know. And you manage to just kind of bolt out and manage to get to the gate just as the bell goes, knowing that you didn't want to kind of get the end of the lesson. And it's like, and you're just kind of hanging there nervously, kicking the stones. I've got to talk to the older kids. Maybe the young, maybe everyone will think I'm cool now because I'm talking to the older kids.
I might smoke actually, just to really make sure I look cool.
On school ground. Ooh.
Yeah, but no, I've
Frau Fisher around.
I've wanted to talk about it mainly. What's going on is my main concern.
Yeah, cool.
Assuming that the older kids will have it in hand.
Cool. So just for the sake of ease, and the fact that this is meant to be a 2-shot game. If it's going to be longer, I would say you could have all your own schedules of lessons. But just to make things easier, Sarah, Henry, and Jane, you've all had the same last lesson.
Yep.
And you're all kind of, let's get off site because what the where's the body? Where's the body? And as you are leaving, and again for convenience, the school only has one entrance into it. My high school had 4 entrances off the streets, so
same.
There's only one street entrance. It's a small school in a small village. There's only one entrance.
Yep.
And you three, you're walking out and you see Jack. He's probably got a hoodie on underneath his blazer and he's kicking around. Bag is right down to his. Yeah, you got a wallet chain.
No.
Yeah.
Your bag is the straps on your bag are so loose that it's kind of hanging around near your knees.
That's bad for your back. Yeah.
One strap, not straps, mate. One strap. I don't want to get beaten up. One strap.
Cool, and I'm sure you can all guess what he looks like, and that's what you see. So take it away.
I sort of roll my eyes and like, all right, come on, let's. I know a place, and I sort of shove the other guys to.
I try and stand in the middle so that I'm shielded, being obviously a head shorter as well. So I'm like. So I can snuffle out. I'd be dead excited, both that we've got this to talk about and that I'm off school grounds during school time.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah, what happened? Did your dad find it?
No, he's fine. Like, don't worry. I've taken care of it. I've just put it by the bins for now because might need the car.
Okay. So we don't talk about it now.
Well, sorry, that's from taking away.
Yeah, mystery's over. Just leave the body alone. We're done. Game over. Nice seeing you all.
Yeah, nice. We never talk about this again. I actually will be walking, unless anyone else has a preference for like somewhere to eat. But I will be walking people towards the cross country track, which is away from the school, and it's just in my head what I used to do when I was at high school. It was just a bit of wasteland that they're like, yeah, run around that for half an hour or so, and so it's quite secluded. Yeah, that it's just away from the school essentially, so you can sit down and whatnot.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's great.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know, like we've got the body there, but obviously, like, I mean, Henry, your dad say anything about like MOD stuff or anything from the lake?
He wasn't at home.
Oh.
I waited for him, but he didn't show up, and I'm a little bit worried, but not as worried as I am about a certain body.
I mean, I've got it all in hand just now, Henry. I can't think of anything that will go, like, who would go around mucking with some bins, right?
The police, for example. Didn't they show up again?
Not whilst I was out, as far as I'm aware. All they did was take their ID.
Sarah, it's not bin day, is it, on your street?
No, it is definitely not bin day.
As you see a bin lorry drive.
Just see this arm just going into the compactor.
I could be cruel, right, but I'm not going to be. I don't need you to do things.
But I'd be like, look, well, we need to do something with it. Like, obviously, it's out by the bins. The ice box will only keep it cool for so long, and I can't have it around mine because my dad's asking questions, and like, you know, I don't want questions. You guys have questions, so I mean, I don't know. Anyone else discovered something weird in the short time we've had? Like, I've been dead. I'm knackered from all this hiding bodies and running around and police betraying my trust. I have so much to say to Darren when I next see him.
I really wonder why the police didn't come back. So strange. They expected a body at the lake and didn't find one, obviously.
Well, no, they just kind of ran off. And then I phoned them several times, and I think I'm on some sort of blacklist. So maybe I'm in the clear. Oh, that's a great thought. That's a great thought.
Did you say if any of us were with you, by the way? By name?
No, not by name.
Okay.
And you can see Sarah's struggling a bit because she knows what she said on the phone, which was like friends but not friends, kind of friends. She definitely didn't mention them by name though, so that's all right.
So we could just not do anything, right? And it'll be fine, right?
We could get rid of that corpse.
Could put it back in the water.
With a few stones, yes. Why not?
Yeah.
Wait, are you meaning to say that I've got a body around my dad's fish and chip shop for nothing? Then we got to find out what it's about. I've risked my car for this. Well, my dad's car for this.
I'm with Sarah. I mean, why did this guy have this strange thing in his head?
Oh, you saw, didn't you, in his head?
Yeah. And, well, maybe if we were like really clever, we could search the books of my father, but also maybe we could use some resources which are more directed at people of our education.
Do you three have access to the computer lab?
No, I've got banned.
Could you? I don't want to ask why, but if one of you,
Sarah's
for
a
example, I'm stuck in lessons all afternoon. You three are sixth form. You got the run of the school. If one of you could get to the computer lab, maybe you could look something online.
Jane, weren't you like talking to Mr. Frank on Friday about that paper, and he said to you that you should use that computer for research?
Yes, but that's not maths. And, the only thing I have to do now is maths.
Jane, not to be a dampener, but I've got a dead body, as I keep mentioning, around the shop. I think maths, your exam paper, at least a day. Just look, I can't, like, I'm not allowed in after, like, all the mice got tangled up. Look, just go in, Jane, and just find anything, please.
Yeah, okay. I'll do it. But everybody, if my mother asks you what I did, just tell them I studied for the maths exam, yes?
And science. And also
German.
remember, the amount of math we have to learn to succeed at Friday is much smaller than the amount of math we would have to learn to understand the books at my father's office.
Sarah is currently going under that realization that she too also has exams because she's in the same class as Henry and Jane. And it's like, yes, the exams, of course. Like,
And your access to Loughborough probably counts on you getting a certain amount of grades in your exams.
Loughborough.
And here's a fun fact for you. I was on holiday one year and with some Australians who just spent some time in the UK, and they said they had the best time in a place called Luga Baruga.
Luga Baruga.
So if you want to, Loughborough can now be called Luga Baruga.
Sadly, no.
Sadly, no. But I just like that story. Anyway,
Let's go on.
Carry on. I'm going to make Jane do some rolling in a minute when she goes and plays on the computer. So,
yeah, I think of all of us, I'm the most limited in ability because unfortunately I'm just still at school, so I'm getting stuck with teachers actually wanting to know where I am, whereas you guys have got a bit more of a run of it. So yeah, I think you should get to the computer labs. Don't search for the things that got Sarah banned from the computer lab, and find. I don't know what you'd search. Body Lake. His name, I suppose. We've got his name, didn't we?
God, yeah. Right.
Yeah,
yes,
if you've got
George
the name.
Meyer.
George Meyer. You could type George Meyer death or George Meyer accident or something, and maybe.
MOD. Was it? Sorry, David. Was it sanitation on his ID?
He was sanitation, and on the back in a small corner was what Tom Henry found was an MOD sign.
This is also
the front of the ID was 7 Water, so it was the local water company.
And the good thing is, this is the 90s internet where you can type that in and it comes up with like the answers as opposed to press it, or you just like this and it'll come up with FBI mainframe. And you're like, cool, I'm in.
Specialized 90s TV show. Like,
as I say,
it's here.
It's X-Files meets Grange Hill.
Yeah. Put it in, you will find it, or you'll be on the right web ring anyway.
Or the police will come around and confiscate the computer.
I think the police had computers in the 90s.
They're all in one room currently, so it's fine. All right, Jane, if you do that, does people want to like meet round mine later, and we can like move stuff or go to Henry's or something?
We can move stuff, but not to my place.
All right. Well, Jack, thank you for volunteering. We'll put your stuff around your place.
Well, why do we just put it? Okay.
Well, Jane's already got the computer sorted. You currently don't have a role.
So you want me to move the?
No, we'll all help. We'll all help you. Just put it somewhere where it won't be disturbed.
I'm looking around at the cafe that we're in. Do they serve meat?
I thought you were on a track and field place.
Oh shit, we didn't go to a cafe, did we? I'm hungry then. We should go to a Subway. And when we go to Subway, I have a thought about where we could store the body.
Cool.
There's no Subway in this area.
Oh,
Hey,
You're in the
a
middle of
local
fucking
sandwich shop.
nowhere, and I'm not sure Subway existed in 1960s
yeah.
in the UK.
Hillary Bliss's Butchers we'll look for then.
Oh, nice.
we'll look for a place to store the body.
In a butcher's. Cool. Okay. Well, yeah. Cool. It's now kind of getting close to the end of lunchtime, so you've got like 5 minutes left at lunchtime. So you're going to have to peg it back to school, or run back to school, I should say.
I just give anyone who, because obviously I don't know if everyone's been to my chip shop. They've heard of it. So I'll like.
It's the only one in the valley.
Yeah, we've all been there.
No, but
Everybody's
I'll say
been
it
there.
anyway. Yeah, it's flippers and dippers. Don't forget. Right. Ciao. I say and wander off.
Yes, the wonders of not having a mobile phone to say, I'll give you my number and I'll text you where we're going. We have to meet here.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, so you head back to school. Jack goes off and I don't know, does whatever his last couple of lessons are. Sarah
Triple
and
geography.
Yeah, it's something rubbish.
geography. Yeah, human geography.
Colouring in. What's human geography?
It's where you do population studies rather than actual
Sociology.
Like
isn't it?
sociology.
Yeah.
Anthropology, sociology kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll get my colours out and do some geography.
Crayola.
Yeah.
This one has lots of people, so it's black.
Yeah.
This one has few people, so it's blue.
These
This one
people
has
have
trees,
formed an
so
oxbow lake.
But yeah, so Jack goes off and learns how to colour in maps. Sarah and Henry and Fiona will go off to whatever their lesson is. Maybe we'll say there's a free period, so you don't actually have a lesson, but you're meant to maybe go to the library or somewhere and study because exams are coming up, which allows Jane obviously to then get access to the computer room or the computer lab. You enter into the computer lab and it is one of those wonderful, wonderful scenes where you have these massive beige coloured keyboards. You have a small screen. It's probably no more than about that big, and yet the entire monitor is probably the size of the desk. And it takes a good 15 minutes to turn on and connect to the internet, and you hear that wonderful old sound of the dial-up modem just kind of going through. This is how local you are. It's not a networked school. The one computer that's connected has a dial-up modem, and every now and then the secretaries forget this and they pick the phone up and it cuts out. But yeah, you hear that wonderful as it connects. And you end up at the connection, and it comes up with Ask Jeeves across the top of it as the home page. But what I want you to do now, we're going to have a roll here. I want you to make, and I'm going to say programming tech roll here, not investigate, because as much as you have access to the internet, it's not exactly that user-friendly at this period of time, even though there's this weird future tech here. The internet is still the World Wide Web as it is known at the time. So, Jane, would you like to make me a program tech roll, please?
Whew.
And again, you're only looking for 1 6.
Come on, Jane.
See.
You got this.
I got this. I hope so. Nope. That was no success.
Oh,
No successes. So you can do what is known as pushing the roll, which allows you to re-roll everything, but you take a condition.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite sure what a condition would... No, what we'll do, we'll fail forward on this. So there's no re-roll, so you will succeed. You will eventually find the information, but it takes you the entire free period that you have to find out a minimal amount of information. You have wasted an hour trying to find this information, and you have managed to do no study for your maths exam.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
Ooh.
So
I was going to say, it's the 90s internet. You could definitely have the either upset, scared, or exhausted condition.
Yeah.
You could also get injured as well as you throw the thing across the room. It bounces back and hits you in the head.
Exactly.
Rotten.com. Oh god.
Hack the planet.
Okay.
So yeah, the information that you find about George Meyer. I'm going to give you a little bit of information here. So George Meyer was what you found. He was a sanitation worker in the Derwent Dam. So basically, he mopped floors, which took up a lot of his time because it's a leaky building inside there, and he was quite regularly just mopping floors and rinsing out water, which would then kind of just spill over the floor again. But yeah, so he was a sanitation worker. There is no sign that you can find of anything to do with the Ministry of Defence and in connection with him. You also find that he went missing in 1964.
Uh-huh.
A little bit of extra information that you'll find, and this is kind of why it took you a little bit longer than you were hoping for. He's not the only person to have gone missing in the area and never been found from the local area. Like, walkers go missing all the time with broken legs and things. But like locals generally don't go missing. There's been at least 5 people who have gone missing in the 60s in this area. George is just one of them.
And did they all have a connection to the Derwent Dam and working for the company?
You don't know. You didn't manage to find that out in time.
Mm-hmm. But I did find out that they all were locals.
Yeah, they're all locals.
And
'cause
James,
that's how the internet works at this time. It only gives you part information. Like the rest of it's redacted with a black marker.
Oh, cool.
could Jane have seen what who was filing the missing report?
No, all she got was basically scanned copies of newspaper pages.
Okay.
But it seemed to be quite widely covered. But with the internet being so bad at the time, it takes at least 5 to 10 minutes for an image to load up. So you didn't get to go through all of the information, which is why you know more people went missing. But because you specifically looked for George, you only found out information about George. So yeah, he went missing in 1964, never found. And he was the first one to go missing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you know,
Okay.
and I will let you go with that.
So do we have a library in our village? Maybe they keep old newspapers. Would be easier than the internet.
I'll say the village that you live in, no, but Castleton most definitely does. Castleton is maybe 7-8 miles down the road.
Okay.
It is on the map that I gave you in the document. So it's kind of a lot further on the left-hand side. I have to look at my hands then when I was doing right, left. That way. Left. Yeah, so it's towards Mamtor and towards the Blue John Caves, which Henry knows a lot about. He spends a lot of time in the caves.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I look at my watch and I hurry out of there. I don't know how far we are into the school day now, if there's any more lessons for us where I should be.
No, we'll say it's now like 3 o'clock and the school finishes, because you've got the option of staying in school for extra study periods and study classes if you wanted to. I don't know whether Jane wants to, or whether she wants to share the information. The others can just sit in a chip
I
shop.
definitely want to meet up with the others and share that little bit of information I got.
Yeah. Cool.
So I'll wait for them outside of the school.
I think the only thing I'd say, again, very, very quick, would be whilst Jane is doing that, Sarah will make Henry, with Henry's permission, teach her anything she needs to learn about for the exam coming up. And they'll be like over like in like the sixth form common room, studying over. I assume Henry has a heck ton of books. And Sarah's like, so it's long division and multiple. It's just like, and like it's trying to study very hard now for this maths exam, realizing the very big importance of it, even though she's bobbed Jane off on doing this other task.
And you then get very worried when I'm going to interject here some maths terms, which I'm guessing Tom probably doesn't know in English. He then interjects some integration and differentiation in there as well, because this is A-level maths. This is not GCSE level maths.
Why would Sarah pick A-level maths?
Also, the thing is, you would probably notice that he isn't very fluent in the execution of the thing. He just goes as he thinks that the equations should work. So he's just like improvising the solution every time, because
but Sarah doesn't care, because you have more of an opinion on it than she does. So instantly it's like gospel. Like, yeah, that makes real big sense. Yeah, just do this and then carry the 2. There isn't a 2, but that totally makes sense. Yeah.
Real big sense.
Real big sense.
How is Henry feeling about this now that someone's talking to him and kind of being friendly and excitable over things and actually listening to you?
this is amazing.
Also, just as a note to people who are watching and listening and care, it's nearly Eurovision time. So Rob might just kind of blank out for the next 2 hours as he does some pop.
This announcement will age so well.
I know.
Yeah, if you're watching this in the future on either my Twitch or my YouTube channel, if Rob is not paying any attention, that's because he's watching crappy Eurovision dance music. It's a brilliant thing, but yeah. And if you're American and you don't know what it is, find out. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
They have their own this year.
Oh, did they? Oh, I did not know that.
They had a movie.
Yeah, they got their own competition.
So I noticed Australia didn't turn up this year. Anyway, yeah. So Henry, how are you feeling about actually having someone listen to you and ask you questions?
The thing is, I get people to listen to me. This is not the problem, but somebody's actually interested in what I'm saying. That's great. And it's not like the stakes aren't as high as they would be if I was talking to Philip. So it's just great. It's pretty nice, and I really enjoyed the situation. I completely forget that I had like 3 different ideas to pursue how to get on with our case. Right now, there's the power of math that will lead to friendship.
One person is terrified about maths and the other one is seeing it as a way to make friends. Maths is either the true horror or the true heart behind the story.
Maths is the friends we made along the way. Yes.
Okay.
I love how Henry's just like, oh, this is brilliant. And I'm like, yeah. So it is X is the answer, and then I'm like, brilliant. Oh, that's amazing. Like, not seeing this, like, not
understanding it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, not dismissing Henry's feelings, but I was just preoccupied with this sudden notion that I have a big thing now. Oh God, So, but yeah, just to say that out loud.
Cool. Right. So,
also, this is the only piece of training I had for math. This is just the only part that I actually learned for last week, so I'm way behind schedule for my own learning.
How's Jack feeling about his colouring in?
I've started, so I've gone off the lines. I've been colouring in, and then I've started sort of doing. Cause I'm working on a big art piece that I want to impress the art teacher with. So I've used it as an excuse, actually, just to make a study of something else. So I've started doing that, and then like I sort of blank out for a bit, and I've started to like draw the lake, the reservoir, a little bit, and then like just like almost absent-mindedly, because then like I'm drawing, and the teacher's like, Jack, pay attention. So, okay. And I'm just sort of doodling. And when I look down, I've realised I've sort of drawn us on the boat on the reservoir. And I'm just like, oh God, oh God.
Is there a headless corpse there as well?
Well, I was getting to that. Literally, it's that point where the pencil goes down. And then I realise, and you know that shot they always do where the pencil snaps on the paper? That's kind of the moment I knock myself out, and then the bell goes.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, right, yeah, and then pack my bag and don't say bye to anyone because I hate everyone.
Do you take is the drawing on a worksheet that you need to hand in, or do you take it with you?
Yes, but I literally scratched. Like the last thing I did was just scroll through it, and it's a nonsense anyway. No, actually, no. Let's say no. I hastily shove it in my bag, hope no one sees it, crumple it up, put it in my bag, and go.
Ooh, that's never going to come back to bite you.
No, never. Which is good.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. And obviously the final bell has gone. Sarah is like, oh, this has been brilliant, great, cool, and starts packing everything up, going, yeah, right, let's get to the Chippy.
Yeah.
Henry's obviously like, oh, someone's listened to me and has actually asked questions and is woohoo, friendships. And Janie's like, I've got some really weird information. The computer was shit, but I've got some information. And you said you were going to head to the Chippy, but I'm going to wait outside, or are you just going to head to the Chippy?
Team reassemble.
I think I like if
the 90s
Henry's
version of Avengers Assemble.
I think
Teenagers assemble.
If Henry is with me, then I would make the offer. Because I wouldn't have used my dad's car to come to school. That would have been too cool. I would. Yeah,
you don't
I would
need to. It's a small enough area that you wouldn't have needed to.
Even better. Yeah, I'd walk with Henry.
We would be very slow.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Sarah's just like kicking about, like looking around.
I'd stop by the Newsies first to see if White Dwarf's come in, and if it hasn't, then I'm going to go in there. I'm going to go. I'm going to the chip shop. Hey, Necromunda's just come out.
15-year-old Dave is not trying to badger his parents to buy him Necromunda at this moment in time. Cool. Yeah, so we'll say you all do eventually at some kind of get-together at the chip shop, rather than meet outside the school, because you're all coming from different areas. Rob, Jack, you arrive last because you've been to the newsagent to see if the one copy of White Dwarf they get in each month, because you're the only person who buys it in the village.
Yeah.
I've got
because
White
Nobody
Dwarf.
Else is a
plays
nerd.
it. I've got White Dwarf Kerrang in 2000 AD under my arm. Oh man, I wish I had that.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. But yeah, that's what I come with, and a pack of Fazzles.
Nice. And a 30p can of Coke.
Yeah, not like 75p at this chip shop, apparently.
What we've not told you about Sarah's dad is that he's a greedy little bastard when it comes to money.
He doubles up all the costs.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, you all eventually arrive in the chip shop. So Jack is last. I will say he's like 15 minutes behind. So Sarah, Henry, Jane, you've got 15 minutes. Not in this time, but you've got a little bit of time to talk between yourselves before Jack kind of turns up. Jane, do you tell everybody? Do you tell these two before Jack turns up, or do you wait for Jack?
I think I can't wait to tell them what I found out, but I'll gladly repeat it when Jack arrives.
Cool. So, take it away.
So, guys, there's not much on the internet. At least I didn't get access to any more than the basics, but this George Meyer seems to have been the first of several, I think 5 people that went missing in the 60s. So local people, that is, not some wanderers, tourists or whatever. And he went missing in 64, and he was a sanitation worker at the Derwent Dam. And well, that's about it. Problem is, I didn't get more names of the others that went missing, and there was no connection to the MOD whatsoever. But, well, I guess they have that behind some serious keywords. So.
Henry, I think you need to speak to your dad about this. Maybe he remembers all this happening.
My dad?
Henry's dad.
Henry's dad. Yeah, maybe Henry.
That's good. Fine, that's good stuff. Or we could go look in newspapers in the library if it was like big news.
Yeah,
that's the kind of thing we could have a look for.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe we should do a trip to Castleton. Go to the library there.
Or we could like ask his children if he had any.
Well,
I mean, if you found this one on the World Wide Web, it must have been important to end up there, right?
I think it was just newspaper articles. So
you can find them there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Some of them. Not all of them, obviously, but what seemed important enough. But as there must have been a lot of pictures in the newspapers, then it took quite a long time to load up. And it would definitely be easier to go to the library and look for those old papers.
Right.
I'm going to give you kind of a bit of world knowledge now, in kind of how I see the libraries to exist in this period of time. And maybe Henry would probably have been there. I'm guessing your other 3 might have been there because that's the only place you'll get certain books if you wanted to read them, because there's no bookshop in the village. The library, it is generally what you would know as a library in real life now, where there would be a lot of books. But to kind of like find newspaper information in the 90s, you'd have had those ticker tape slide things. So you'd like have something on a microfilm and you'd spin it around and stuff. I see the library having a lot more of those kind of informations, and they're a lot easier to use than you just have to spend hours at flipping through all the articles on the film. So it's easier. It's like you can pick up a film, like finger punch in a typewriter a date or the name of a newspaper, and it would bring that specific film up on the screen, and then you just have to scan through stuff. So they might have physical copies of papers, but back to the 1964.
It's going to be microfiche, isn't it? It's going to be.
It's kind of up to. So that's kind of how I see the library. When you get there, you'll see kind of maybe where the information actually lies, and things. So if you actually decide to go that way, but that's kind of, if you're thinking about the library, that's kind of what you would know as the library.
The other issue with the library, which I do think we should go to, I think this is our next big lead, I think, leading from that, and this is me not talking as Jack, this is me talking player, is time. Unfortunately, being a child, you are limited in when you can get out and get away, because it's now going to be Tuesday by the time the library's open again. And we've all got school, so you might have to go on a free period.
It's 3:30 on a Monday. And
how far is it to Castleton?
From where you are, I'd say it's 5 miles, 5-6 miles.
Okay, Sarah, you're running. No, if we get the car, we could get
Tom's
to the
already
library
put that in
before.
the chat on Twitch, by the way. He
Yeah.
said send,
Oh.
send the runner.
But no, if we got the car, we could get there and back before it closes.
Yeah,
we could
libraries
drop
are actually still open and usable in this decade.
Of the
Yeah,
90s.
rather than like closing straight. Like,
Yeah.
Open 1 day a week for 2 hours on a Wednesday afternoon.
yeah.
So why don't we should pile in and do that, because we're not going to have a chance otherwise until after school tomorrow. That's the problem. We've got 7 hours a day wasted.
I mean, we could always just not go to school.
Yeah, or we just don't go to school.
Did you think of our maths exam?
And like, no, you're right. Well, all right, so that's one thing. I'd say, yeah, library. But what about, I lean in conspiratorially, like going, the boxes, and like proper a sideline at the back where the door is. So when it leads down to the yard.
Oh, yeah.
Your dad is kind of in the back, and he kind of just picks up and goes, "Boxes? What boxes?"
Dad, stop eavesdropping! Oh my god!
We could split the party if 2 of us move some boxes and 2 of us have a look at some books, maybe.
Sure.
Well, I guess whoever's with me comes to the library. There's definitely silence. Like nobody wants to go with Sarah.
Again, you hear over the top of it, it's like your dad shouts, "Remember, you've got to make deliveries at 5:30,
Yes.
and then you've got to have your tea, and then you've got to study again.
Whatever. Oh my god. Look,
Just
right,
because your
let's get-
friends are around doesn't mean you get to give
Dad,
me jip."
Stop it! Oh my
It's
god.
one of those
you're
your boyfriend.
ruining my life.
Or girlfriend.
Well, just a question. The zoom on these things would be the magnifying on the macrofiche would be pretty extensive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would get trouble to read that if it
Oh,
wasn't.
They're very
I
read.
would-
They,
yeah,
they,
I would say
you can
it
go
would-
in and out.
Yeah, it would be in and out, and you'd be able to zoom in on individual words. It would probably just take you a very, very long time to read an entire newspaper article on it. It's probably not something
Well,
you'd
Henry,
be
why
comfortable
don't
doing.
we move the boxes then, and Jane and Sarah can go to the
We can.
to the library. We can think of a place to put this.
Yep.
I generally look at Henry and Jack as the proposal of them moving boxes, and I'm like, yeah, fine, come on, Jane, let's get in the car, let's go. Like, I'm like, cool, it's not my responsibility anymore. They've taken it, it's off my hands.
Yeah, I'm fine with that decision too. I don't want to do anything with those boxes.
Because he's in. We split him in half, didn't he? He's in 2.
He's in several
Foam.
boxes.
He's in several
Several.
boxes, yeah.
We're definitely going to be scattering him around town then.
I don't have a car. Do you have a cart?
No, I've got a bike. I can get a wheelbarrow. My dad's got a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, that's
That'll be
great.
fine. No one will notice.
Also,
do you want us to meet up somewhere after you've got rid of the
Yeah,
boxes?
we
Outside
will
the
be at the
newsies.
we will be at the caves.
The cave?
They'll be far. They're too far away. They're the other side of Castleton. They're at least 10, 12 miles away. So
How about
15
the
15
shipwreck?
kilometers. The what?
What
The Harbour
Sorry.
shipwreck.
I'm gonna try and ship. But I think that was outside of town also.
Oh, the airplane. Yeah, no, the Hubble ship. That's another valley across.
Oh, why it's
Yeah.
everything's so far away.
It's not-
It's awful,
this is
isn't
far
it?
away in Britain, so it's like next door. It's
Yeah.
like-
Oh
it's,
yeah. If you were in any other country in the world, well,
yeah.
any other.
Right, we'll meet at the
Western-speaking
newsies
country.
when you're done and we've scattered the body to the wind. You will meet at the newsies.
I wanted to bring it to the caves.
All right, how about this? We'll drop you off
What
at
I'll
the
say
caves.
is you'll have to use a car to get to the caves, but you could get to the cement works. And at this time of day, the cement works will probably start. By the time you've done everything, it will be closed.
Right.
So a big industrial site where they do a lot of chopping and grinding of stones.
I mean, yeah, that's perfect, really. I was just going to put them in the bin, but
John, job's
Done.
good.
Yeah.
I did give
And
you the
that's
map
the
for a
end.
reason. Like, it wasn't just
Yeah.
there as a pretty image to make people understand kind of what's in the area.
So I guess Sarah's one question would be: is that what is the plan with the body? Are we still hiding it? Because it's our only evidence that there was something from the lake that we saw. So if we're putting it in, if we're chopping it up even more, that it looks even worse for us.
No, that's a good point. Are we hiding it or are we disposing it? I think that's the difference. And if we're hiding it, I think the caves is a good shout, even if it is a journey. We could do that because I've got no maths exam on Friday, so me and Henry could walk up to the caves and do it.
I don't intend to learn for the math exam, so
Why don't we do that? Because I think you're right. I think if we hide it rather than dispose of it easy.
we might need it later.
Yeah.
I'd hate to spend a resource which might end up being a bargaining chip later on.
Okay, so I've got an idea. The plan is, if we can make it to the caves tonight, we'll do it. We'll bury it under a load of wood. So there is a reason for that, like sticks and stuff. If we need to dispose of it quickly, we can literally just throw a lighter on it and get rid of it very quickly as well, but also just hide it in the caves up there.
The other things that are around, just to kind of
Need that map now,
give
damn it.
Sirion and Tom an idea. There's also Periville Castle, which is a ruin. Popular with tourists. Well, it's kind of popular with tourists. It's up a hill. It's closer than. It's a lot closer than the Blue John mines. There are other cave systems around as well, but I don't know where they are because the map is not showing me where they are. So, but yeah, Periville Castle is just outside of Castleton. There is a load of other lakes. There are a load of other wooded areas that you could maybe go to. So there's there's a lot of different options. Or you could take it to the cement factory and grind its bones.
No.
Calcium is needed in cement.
Right, yeah. Jane and Sarah, get to the library. We're going to do our thing.
All right. We do what will become the Da Vinci Code thing. Well, I'm going to a library. Like, get on the bus. Like, go on, Jane. You can pick the tunes. Because you're running shotgun.
Wow,
And
that's
so-
a polite driver. It's usually driver picks the tunes.
Oh yeah. But as soon as Jane does it, it's like, no, don't touch. Like, slap away.
Cool. Okay.
Cassette. Oh no, we'd have a cassette, and you know what that cassette will be? It'll be Take That, and it will be playing Back for Good over and over and over.
What year is this set?
96. Back for Good was released in 95. I did Google that just
Yeah,
to
I
make
know.
sure. Because
I
I was
did that
trying to think of
deliberately.
a way to make it not happen.
No, it definitely does. And you can have this new track from the Spice Girls called Wannabe in 96.
Oh yeah,
And
it's
it is
a
actually out
combination
at this point as well.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I was going to make, actually, remind me at the break to think. I've got a competition in my head for anybody who's watching, but there's nobody watching, so it probably won't happen.
Oh, we could do it.
We can
We
watch.
can still do it, and it can be for people
Yeah.
who watch on YouTube.
There you go.
Yeah. Yes,
So
good idea.
if you're interested at half time, after we've taken our break, there will be a little. I'll introduce a little competition.
Nice.
There's no prize; it's just people to try
Aw.
and guess things. So, but I'll talk about that over the break. Anyway, so you're splitting the party. We will deal with the body first because that's the easier part to deal with. Weirdly, dealing with a corpse is an easier thing to deal with than going to the library.
Yeah.
Ow.
You don't need a little card.
How? It's because it's Henry and Jack. It's the Henry
Yeah.
and Jack show trying to get rid of a body. That's what's
It's
happened.
literally dump sticks and leaves.
I say this now, however, I have a really bad feeling about this.
Yeah. So
You
can
do.
we get to the caves? Is that a possibility?
Let me just see. So the caves are there. Let's just see if I can actually kind of do a Google map
Yeah.
Tell me how far it is from Bamford to Blue John Cave.
The Blue John. And surely if the Blue John mines are there's going to be also smaller sub caves and mines around as well.
The other thing, yeah, there are other ones around, but all of the mines and caves around here are closed off either to the public or they're tourist caves.
Right.
So you'd have to go in, you'd have to pay to get in, and then you'd have to probably make sure nobody is looking when you lob the bones into the cave somewhere.
Oh, what's this? A big jug of Handwavium. Take a sip.
There is one thing that they do. I have been to the Blue John mines many a time when I was a kid, and they're really quite interesting and quite cool to go to. They do make you turn off your lights at one point. So
I was going to say that. There's always that bit, isn't there?
Utter darkness. It is the most dark you've ever had. Like, there is no natural light within these caves at all. And so as soon as all the lights go off, it is pitch black. And they leave the lights off for a couple of minutes as well. They're just going to abandon you.
We can't go in the tourist way though, because we're carrying polystyrene cartons full of body parts.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you in.
We're gonna have to. Sneak.
You know what's pretty nice? First,
it's 7
the
miles.
feeling that everybody shares with me when the lights go out. This is pretty great. And also their emergency exits, because you need these to have a tourist and program running.
Also, it's late in the day, so there's probably not going to be that many people around. It's late in the day. It's in May. It's a wet, miserable week. It's still raining.
7 miles. Did you say?
It's 7 miles.
So 2 hours.
2 hours walk. Or if you want to bike, an hour on a bike, maybe even less. You can think. I will let you do a tech roll. What is it? I can't remember what it's called. To jerry rig up a
tinker.
That's it. Tinker. Do a tinker roll to try and jerry rig a wheelbarrow to the back of a bicycle.
Okay. David, please remind us of the game system while I definitely remember.
So you get your tinker and your tech skill. Add them together. That's the number of D6 you roll.
Yeah.
And any 6, all you need is 1 6, and it's a 6.
That's it. Yes, I got one. I got a solitary 6.
Woohoo! Woohoo! You have managed to somehow tie a wheelbarrow onto the back of your bicycle, so that it doesn't catch the back wheel, and you can drag it behind you without.
Amazing.
It's a very weird thing.
Yeah, I was going to put the body in the basket like an ET. Put a scarf around it, little Paul Daniels.
Paul Daniels? He doesn't have a head.
Paul Daniels was a popular television musician for
magician
for Tom and Sirion, and he looked like ET.
He did.
And he had a nubile wife.
Well, first attracted to you two, the millionaire Paul Daniels. Right, okay, we'll cycle the body to the caves.
Okay, cool. You will both have bikes. It's a thing that kids have at this time because it's the only way to get anywhere. And I'll say it takes you about an hour to get there. Sarah and Jane have gone off in the car ahead of you and left you to kind of do the exercise.
I will definitely take the exhausted condition. I am happy to accept that because I'm going to be cycling with a wheelbarrow and I'm not
full of boxes full of skeleton.
Yeah. So
yeah, cool. You can take the
exhausted
condition. How does Henry feel about riding his bike 7 miles? It's probably a route that you've done a lot because it's going to the Blue John Caves.
I think that's the only source of comfort on this journey.
Going to your home safe place.
Yeah, that's the good thing. Bad thing is noticing that everything is getting more less easy to see and more the sight getting clouded isn't helping right now. So I got a lot of training on my bike at this point, it's not like I won't ride it anymore, but I feel that in not too far future, I will have to miss out on this option.
It's kind of getting to the point where it's becoming dangerous to ride your bike. You still feel a little bit okay on it, but you know soon that blurry shape in front of you is not just going to be a blurry shape that looks like Jack and a wheelbarrow attached to his bike. It's going to look. It could be a car, and you'll use like.
I just want to say that Henry's storyline of him losing his sight is really bumming me out.
It's so sad.
It's so
I feel
sad.
so
Yeah.
sad.
It's God.
So it makes me even sadder when I've completely ignored him in the maths challenge and just like, yeah, fine. It's like, oh, I feel even worse.
It's very well done, and it's truly bumming me out.
Oh, but at least Henry does know the area, and he has been to the caves quite a lot. So he will have knowledge of where you might be able to sneak in. But
You just have to do all the physical work, like opening that door, which is shut down, locked.
Yeah, so I'm going to say you know where the service entrance is, but it is a locked door. So one of you is going to have to try and get into it.
I'm still trying to impress the older kids, so I'm happy to sort of step up and try and do these things. So I can give that a go.
It will be a tinker. It will be again a tinker tech.
Tinker.
Tinker
Yeah.
tech. I like
Tinker
that.
tech.
Tinker tech.
Tinker tech. That's good. That's my first album. Right. Just 1/6 again.
Just 1/6. It's
phew.
always 1/6. I will
Yeah.
tell you if it's harder than that.
Right. Okay. Got you. Yeah. What? Single 6.
Yep. So you managed to you got it.
Yeah. I got a single 6.
Cool. So you manage. It takes you a little while to kind of pick the either jerry rig or pick the lock, or just kind of rip the padlock off the door, because it's a rusted old door. It's just like a metal sheet in front of it, and you manage to get inside. And as you enter, on the side, luckily, because this is a mine and this is the service entrance, there are helmets, there are safety gear, and there are torches there for you, which are used by the people who work there. Sorry, some interesting things happening in the Eurovision. There are safety equipment there for you.
Okay.
And you will be able to walk in there and see. It's not like nowadays where you could walk in with your phone and you're like, I've got a light on my phone. It's like, no, they have torches and like torches on your hand stuff as well. So.
Yeah, cool. Okay, let's find a place. And as I say, we don't want to dispose. We want to be able to find it again, but we'll just have to put it behind either a rock formation and cover it in a load of gravel or whatever. Do you know what I mean? We're trying to get that balance of hiding but findable again.
Not like I did to someone before in one of my games where I said, yes, you've managed to succeed at hiding the thing, but you only just succeeded, which means you have now forgotten what book
just
you
like
behind. You know it's
definitely.
in the room somewhere, but not exactly where.
Just trying to balance that, because yeah.
No. So what we'll do is this is obviously Henry's domain. I'm going to ask Henry to do some rolling. We'll try and get everybody to do a roll this game. I think there's only like 3 rolls in the entire session last week, so we'll do a few more this week.
Cool.
I generally don't like rolling in this system because just the way it works, the story kind of goes for it. But I will let Henry choose. He can do investigate or comprehend. So investigate mind or comprehend mind to find a place or know of a place where he can hide a body, basically.
I choose to investigate and have my max number of dice.
So Henry now knows where to bury a body. If anybody needs any help in disposing of a body,
Henry's your guy. Yourself.
He would be, but
except
he's kind of thrown off. They moved stuff around here, and maybe
come in a
they're
different entrance as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, they shouldn't change stuff. I hate change, especially in my places. And yeah, this, I don't own it, but it is mine. And they changed it. And I'm losing my mind over this, and I'd like to take upset and re-roll my success roll.
I had another response that would mean you don't have to take a condition, but if you want to take the condition, I'll let you take it.
I want to be upset.
Okay, that's fine. And if you fail at this, then I'm gonna really screw with both of you, because.
Oh no.
Yeah. Tom has the same issue with me with dice, which is why I love this game as a GM, because I don't have to roll any. As in, we just can't roll dice. We just really bad at it.
Yeah, we can't roll dice.
No.
Did you just fail again?
I failed again.
No sixes. How many dice are you rolling?
Dice.
I roll 6 dice.
Oh no.
One of the things I think one of the things which actually is I really like about this book is it gives you percentages as to how many dice you roll, as to what's the chance of you succeeding, and then it gives you the percentages as if you push as well. So if you do that re-roll, I don't know where it is in here, but if you're interested in maths, I know we've had lots of maths questions. Nerd. They do actually give you the percentiles as to kind of what's more likely to succeed, which I think is a nice thing to do.
David, not to step on your toes, but I really like the idea of we hide the body, we do it, and then the camera pulls out, and we're just like, where the hell are we? Just like 100%, just like, oh god. But no,
that would be cool if we weren't trying to finish the story today. But what I'm going to say after I say this, we're going to take a break because leave it on a cliffhanger. You do eventually find somewhere to hide the body, but as you do that, Henry, you realise you're on one of the major tourist walkways. As you finish stacking the boxes behind the stalactite, hang on, which one? Stalagmite, because they're the ones that grow from the bottom up.
Oh dear.
Tom, you have jumped over the safety cabling, the footpath that you're meant to walk on to do this. In fact, probably both of you have to kind of get there. As you're about to step back over that railing to get onto the footpath, a tourist group comes around the corner and sees you. And we will leave you there for the break, for the halftime break. As Jack and Henry are now in a little bit of shit.
No, at least we put the body down. Would have been worse. It's still like...
I wouldn't go back there for 5 minutes if I were you.
Yeah. Stop pooing in the corner.
Cool. We shall take I'm going to say 5 or 10 minutes. Last week, I think it was about 15. Just whenever. We'll be back soon. See you all in a bit. And we're back! Hello, everybody. Did you miss us? Probably not, but anyway. At least you might have missed those lots, because they're amazing, and I'm just here to be an arsehole to them.
Not true.
Well, I've just been an arsehole to Jack and Henry.
Oh, yeah.
Right, before we get on with that, I did say we're going to do a little bit of a competition-y thing, just for fun, I have challenged my players. I'm not sure how well this is going to work, because I'm not going to know half of these, is they have to try and fit in song titles to Eurovision songs. They don't have to be like winners or anything, and just kind of fit them into the conversation somehow. And if you notice one, if anybody's actually watching, put it in the chat and let us know, or put it in a comment in YouTube. See if you can see how many you can get. I watch it, but I don't really pay attention to the name of the songs. I'm like death metal, black metal fanboy, cult, and all that kind of weird crap. So yeah. Anyway, that was the competition I was talking about. So it's just a bit of fun. I'm guessing these four will know more about song titles. I know ABBA was in it. I know Cliff Richard was in it, and I know Gina G was in it. That's about the extent of my knowledge. And Lordy were in it. That was a fun one.
Yes.
Although it does appear that they're playing Blinded by the Light at the moment, which I don't get. How can you put an old song into... Anyway, enough of that. Let's get back to her. We just had Jack and Henry dispose of a corpse behind a stalagmite. And they were just about to get back onto the path when a tourist group comes around the corner. What we're going to do now, though, is we're going to zoom out. We're going to leave Jack and Henry at this point in time. Leave them worrying about what is about to happen to them in this dark... It's damp. It's a damp cave. There's a lot of water there. That's the kind of what happens there. And we're going to go over to Sarah and Jane and their fun with a library. So, you leave the Chippy. Sarah, you somehow manage to get your dad's car. He just doesn't seem to care. He just knows that you take his car every now and then for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah. I'll shout back, I'm off!
Bye! Here's the keys. He throws the keys at you. Just knowing.
Thanks. Love you.
I believe you.
Fucking dad. Okay. Come on, Jane. Get in the car.
Yeah, okay. I think we should hurry a bit, right? Your dad wants you to deliver at a later time, something?
Just get in, and then you get into the car. It's like it stinks of fish and chips. That's the first thing. It's like I would say Sarah definitely snacks on orders that she delivers those sort of. So there definitely is like half an eaten order that's been left the night before. And she sort of
people order a large, but they don't know what a large is. They think it's like a medium.
Mm-hmm. And I sort of lean back in and get like a cold chip and go, you want?
No, I'm vegetarian, you know that.
Oh, that's great. Chips, potatoes,
yeah, but they stink of fish. Sorry.
No. Biggest cup of cheeses and hop into the man. Right, let's go. Start driving.
Are they like day-old chips?
Oh, yeah, they're cold. And they've been in the back of the car.
You are really learning how to live the university life, aren't you?
What are you talking about? I'm just flashing back to my youth.
Yes. Cool. Yeah. So you managed to drive and get over to the library in about 5 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes. Doesn't take you that long. You park up and you get into the library. It's in an old church because it's quite regularly where they are. Apparently, at least in most of the places I've lived, they seem to be in churches. So it's in an old church. And you go in, like, as you enter, there's all like the new releases aisles. There's a librarian sat at her desk, kind of just glasses down on her nose, and she's staring at a computer screen, hitting a single key at a time. kind of like she's a librarian. This like she's not meant to be using a computer. I mean, she just doesn't quite get it. She looks up and just kind of looks back and just kind of ignores you, and lets you in. And there's just like, what are they called? Shelves. There we go.
Whoa.
Lots of shelves and piles of books lying around and stuff. It doesn't seem to be very well organised. And at the back, there's a wall of these. I don't want to call them ticker tape machines, but you know what I mean when I say that. The things, the microfilm kind of
Microfiche.
Microfiche. That's the word. A bit of those at the back as well. So what do you want to do?
Okay. Well, I think we'll make our way over to these shelves and have a look at that microfilm from the 1960s, or how many there are. I don't know.
Yeah. So they do this just because it's something that I've just remembered about libraries. There's a very, very weird way that they organise everything. So they have a rack of small drawers, which when you pull them out, they have lots of cards in. You have to go through all the individual cards, find the card that you want, which then leads you to the right shelf, which then leads you to the box, and you kind of have to spend a good half an hour rifling through these small little ID cards, and then going to the shelf and trying to find the right cards on the shelf and stuff. Not cards, microfiche on there. And you managed to pull out 3 or 4 from the 1960s that appear to be related to newspapers. So
Okay. I think this is one of them.
Right, whack it on.
Yeah.
I sit down expecting a film, and then it doesn't. I'm like, oh.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Doesn't work like this.
Oh.
Some more searching.
It's fine. So I'm guessing, Jane, sort of out of character, what kind of information are you particularly looking for? Obviously, you know there's deaths, but are you looking for people who have died in that year, or like stuff about the company? Was it something 7? Water 7? 7 water?
Yes. On his overall, he had a badge saying 7 water, I think.
So
we could look up for the company. We could look for missing people in the respective years and their names and where they lived and under which circumstances they went missing, I guess. So,
do you want to focus on one? I can focus on another.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we made our minds up.
Yeah.
All right. And as Jane said, otherwise, I'll look specifically to see if I can find any articles on 7 Water, the company.
Okay, so I'll look for the missing people.
Okay. We'll do a investigate mind roll here, but we'll have help from one of the players, which means one of you rolls a dice pool and you add an extra dice to it. It's that simple. So whoever basically has the most.
Weirdly, Sarah's got 4 in mind and 1 investigate. I don't know if that's any help, if that's helpful, Jane.
So I have 1 more.
Perfect. Then I'll help you.
Okay, that would be 7 dice for me.
Nice.
And if you look in the book, you'd work out the probability, but I can't be bothered. We don't need more.
Yes, there is 1 success there.
Oh, hooray!
Okay. So you're gonna find out information about all of them. I was gonna say if you got like more than 1 success, you'd find out more detailed information. But yeah, you actually do find out relatively easily. It's a lot easier to do this searching, you find, than it is to use the internet. Yeah, it's a little bit of a faff with all the cards and finding the right microfiches and stuff, but when you get into the machine, it seems a lot easier and a lot quicker because you don't have to wait 10 minutes for images to load. But you go through and you find out all this information. And yes, there is George Meyer, who worked for the sanitation department of Seven Water. He disappeared in 1964, and he was 56 at the time. So he was getting on a little bit. This was the job at the time the dam was still working for Seven Water, and it was still powering the hydroelectric. It was still creating hydroelectricity for the local area. It moved away from creating about 8 years ago. It moved away from creating electricity for Sheffield and the steel factories in Sheffield. It just wasn't big enough anymore, and now it was providing hydroelectric power for the towns and villages within the valley. And this is where George Meyer worked. The other 5 people who went missing, I have not got names for them, but we can make names up as we're going. They all also worked for Seven Water. One was
a clue.
And they all worked in the hydroelectric dam. One was a technician. One was an engineer. You're not quite sure what the difference between a technician and an engineer is, but apparently there's a job type. There's two. They're job titles. 2 of them were security guards, and the 5th was a intern who who'd come from your school. He was an 18-year-old who'd come from your school and was working there over the summer because he wanted to learn how to be a sparky, so an electrician. They all worked at different points throughout the year. They're different points throughout the decade. So the 64, 2 went missing in 66, 1 went missing in 67, 1 in 68, and 1 in 69. But it was in different points throughout the year. There doesn't seem to be a pattern between when they went missing. And they range in ages from the 18-year-old up to George at 56. Again, so there's no real pattern here. Other than that they all seem to come from this dam. In regards to learning about Seven Water, this is kind of at the peak of hydroelectricity within Derbyshire. Seven Water own all 3 dams within the valley. All 3 dams provide electricity for all the local residents. It is quite a it's a big employer within the area. So having 5 workers go missing does seem a little bit strange. It's the supplier for the entire of Derbyshire, so an entire region of England, but within this specific valley, because these dams were originally built to provide electricity for Sheffield and its steelworks and the Industrial Revolution. And now it's still got a major importance, but for the local area. There seems to be no mention of anything between 1939 and 1945. And you kind of instantly connect this to, obviously, Second World War and the fact that it was used for the dam buster training.
Right.
I will say one other piece of information you do manage to gain, which doesn't seem to be related in any way, shape or form to the disappearances, but there was a year, 1976, where the reservoir, it was a really hot summer, and in England, if you ask anybody of a certain age, they will tell you about 1976 summer, and it was one of the hottest summers on record. And the reservoir was virtually drained by that point. And you see a picture of the reservoir at this time. You can see Derwent village in the mud of the base of the reservoir. It is dropped that much that you can see the abandoned village that got flooded when they built this thing. You can also notice in the very background, fuzzy within the image because it's a newspaper image, there are 3 perfect square buildings.
Ooh.
You'll also have a vague memory of last year being a very hot year. 1995 was a very hot year, and the dam, the reservoir became very low. And you have a memory of there being some seeing the tops of some of the buildings, some of the ruined buildings from Derwent Reservoir. But it was last year. You're teenagers. You don't really hold that much memory of anything.
No. So you're saying these buildings were much taller than the village buildings, or they were pristine or something? Sorry.
They were new-looking buildings. They were
They were
pristine.
new.
They weren't knocked down. They looked of a more modern build, but you can't really tell too much about them because they're in the back of the photograph. But it's not like the actual ruins of the church that you can see, or the fallen, the broken down walls of the old masonry buildings. These look kind of, I don't know, concrete block kind of buildings.
Okay, interesting. And sorry, again, so with the finding out of how all these people are going disappearing, was there anything else what happened to, because obviously we felt a rumble and the body appeared. Was there anything similar that was reported, it was a very stormy night or anything like that in the newspaper articles when they disappeared?
They just didn't show up to work one day.
Oh.
One of the reports mentions that they didn't come home from work.
Yeah.
But there's nothing special about the weather or any kind of events happening.
Yeah, environment. Yeah.
Nothing environmental.
Interesting.
But not every one of them went missing while at work.
It's kind of hard to tell. The information you get about that kind of stuff is sketchy because it's in the newspapers and the media's the media. It sensationalizes things. So, and the police generally also don't want to give out information because then people might do things. You are aware that, especially as teenagers and X-Files and things going on, you're like, the police hide shit. Especially Sarah having the ID stolen
mistrust.
from us.
Yeah. I guess the question I have, it's gone out of my head slightly. It'll come back to me. I have a question, but I'll come back.
Cool. So we'll leave it at that with you two while you think of more questions.
Yeah, that's good.
And you can have a chat. I'm not really watching the Zoom chat because I need to watch everything else. So you can have your secret conversations in the Zoom chat without me. And I will come back to Jack and Henry, who have just been spotted by a tourist group. They have seen you.
Yeah. So the moment we see them, and we see their lights coming, and they see us, I realise I'll try and jump straight into. Oh yeah, Henry, is it a bit on the dark side, isn't it? That stalactite it's remarkable. How did you ever see that one? Immediately falling into a pattern of. Actually, Henry's just shown me round because he's known round here. So I'm like, yeah, incredible. It looks just like a satellite, doesn't it?
You said a satellite?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a little confused by the performance. But I'm getting it.
Yeah, I'm sort of trying to yes, what you were saying was very interesting, Henry.
But it's actually not a satellite. It is a stalagmite.
Right. Okay. Yes, I understand now, and I'll pretend to be making notes, and then realize I don't have any note paper, so just put my hands back down again. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Yes. So we're just trying to basically pass off that he's just showing me what's going on.
It's very slippery down here, so be careful. Better believe me.
Yeah, good idea. Let's Yeah, in fact, maybe actually, I will look at my watch, and I do have a watch. I should probably head back now. We've got it is because it actually took us about an hour to get here, didn't it? So it is.
The tour guide is like, "Oi, you!
Oh,
What are you two doing down there? Get out of there!"
oh, my friend, he was just showing me what was happening. He's showing me some of the better bits.
Ooh. Oh, it's Henry. Oh, Henry, yeah, Henry, you should know better than to go down there and take people off the path. You know how slippy it is.
Yeah, for real, but I wanted to show him the one over there, and I'm directing my finger in a slightly off direction of something the guide would have shown.
Yeah.
Just a smidge of.
No, knowing the area, you picked that's a good one over there, kind of thing.
Yeah, and.
Yeah, sure. Okay, Henry. Okay. I kind of want to make you make a roll, but
Heaven.
I'm gonna. Yeah, no. You told me in the break that your empathize is your good skill, and I'm gonna say you're gonna get help from Jack because he is trying to. He doesn't want to get caught. So you get to add +1. So your empathize and heart. Is it heart?
Yeah.
Mind.
Empathize and mind.
Okay. Empathize.
You can do empathize and mind or charm and heart, depending whichever one you want.
It's actually the same.
Okay. And add +1 because Jack is obviously trying to help you because he doesn't want to get arrested.
Let me try. 1 and 2. 1 success with 8 dice.
Oh, there. Right there.
Well, at least you got the 1 success that you needed, and the tour guide is like, "Oh, yeah. No, I understand that you like the area and you know the area quite well, but you can't be stepping off the path, Henry. It's my job in the line here, and it's I just don't want to see you get hurt. So come back off the path, and we're heading out now. So come out with us."
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Let's just go.
Yeah,
we've done our business. Not
sure.
literally.
We've done our business.
Yeah, I know.
Not sinister at all.
Yeah.
Done our business. Do not go back there.
I'm saying that.
We won't, for real. Maybe you just lend me a hand to get back onto the track.
Yeah, come on, my friend. I'll put my hand out to you and lead you along.
Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, we've done it. We've done it. I won't say that bit. Yes.
Walk out the entrance to the mine. He's like, yes.
Yeah, high five. Body disposed. But yeah, let's get out.
Make my day.
Yeah. So you luckily managed to get out of the mines without raising too much suspicion, and it's taken you a little bit of time, and you've got to go through Castleton on the way back to Bamford, to where you live. So you can ride past and see if Sarah and Jane are maybe still around there, or if they've just like got bored and left you.
Yeah. Yeah, let's head back, and I'll remember the wheelbarrow as well.
Yeah, it's fully attached to your bike now. It's never coming off.
Uh-oh.
It's a wheelbarrow with a bike attached to it at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So, for convenience sake, we'll say that Sarah and Jane are still in the library because you're going through all of the things and trying to find out all this information. The more you dig up, the more you're like, oh, but this connects to this, and then you kind of start making patterns and things. And Jack and Henry, you see Sarah's car in the car park of the library.
Yeah. Okay. Should we swing in, Henry, and let them know we've done our bit?
Yes.
You're just gonna come in super proud.
Yeah. We didn't burn him.
Swagger.
You are my number one.
Yeah. We'll just come in and be like, try and be like, well, like the eagle has flown the nest.
Right. What did you do with the boxes?
We hid them. We hid it.
Right. I did say I needed those boxes back.
Yeah, but I mean, we know where they are. So when do you need them back for?
Tonight, probably.
Oh,
it's fine. I'll make it.
Yeah, you'll have more. You'll have more. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Table that for later, Sarah, to deal with. I've remembered my other question, and thank you, Rob, for kind of correcting. I've misheard this entire time as Seven Water, not Seven Water.
Yeah, it's Severn, so Severn.
I think because we talked about 7-Up in a previous episode, or Sprite. I think that's what I've got in my head.
It's a river of lemonade.
Yeah. That's how long it's been since I've been in the north. So yeah, my question was with the companies, Seven Water, is it still around? It sounds like it's gone out of business. If so,
no, it's still very much around. It's even around nowadays. It is the water supplier for Derbyshire now.
Excellent. So is there like a local HQ or an office that we could go to? Would you say? Like I assumed if there was one, it might be abandoned.
There might have been an office at the time in the 1960s. But nowadays, no, it's all based out of Sheffield. Not Sheffield. It'll be based out of Derby.
Oh God,
that's actually just really confused me because
just say it got decentralised under Thatcher.
Yeah, but Sheffield, which is the closest big city to this area, is in Yorkshire, which would be a different water company. But originally, all the water supplied Seven Water ran it, but supplied electricity to Sheffield. Well, that's a corporate nightmare.
Getting your electricity from a water company is surely bad news, but okay. Cool. I guess, now I mean, my question is that if it was definitely like, here is
an alternate
the local
reality.
offices or something. Yeah. But if there isn't, then that's
what I'll say is you find, because of how big it was back in those days and how important it was back in those days, there are... you notice there's a lot of officers in and around the dam area, like all three dams, because there are three of them. Most of kind of like the big administration ones are down at Lady something. Lady Bower Dam, which is the bottom one. Mm-hmm. So that's where all the administration was. But each of the other dams, so Derwent and... Again, like just forgetting the names. I've got the map up here. I should look at the map. Unless someone can get there before I can. The top dam is called Howden. Howden. Yes, so Howden Dam. They will have small kind of administration officers, but most of the work is done inside the dam itself.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
If you can look at Rob's image, you can't really see it, but on each side,
they've got
you've got the towers.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be within those towers. It looks like there's a beach there, Rob. Move your head again. It looks like there's a beach.
Let's all go.
There's like a shingle
bit
in front of it. Yeah, there is a thing you can sit on and stuff.
Sorry, that is really trippy, that video. It's very 90s hip hop metal crossover. It's not good. Anyway,
back in the 90s. Right.
Get down with the nookie. Limp Bizkit style.
Oh no. Sarah's like, okay. So Jane's gathered all this information. They're all related to Seven Water. I would suggest that we go back to the dam, really, and start investigating the areas around there. We only got a quick look at it last time. Maybe see if any more things have come out or anything like that? Like, unless Jane, you've got anything else to add or any other insight?
No, not really. Well, you said those dry summers led to the village being visible again.
I think we would have brought up so that everyone could see this image with the 3 modern buildings. Sorry, that would definitely be on the background if we were having a tableau. Of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Do you have
make
any
everybody
idea
look
what?
down the viewer.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, there's not a projector.
It's not a projector. You're not showing the entirety of the other person in the library.
yeah, that old white lady. Sorry, Jane. Go for it.
Yeah, you said something about a couple of buildings which seemed newer than the others. Any idea what those could have been meant for?
Don't know.
Maybe something to do with Severn Water.
This is going to sound like a really strange but possibly metagamey question, David. Are there scuba clubs in the reservoir?
That's a good question.
Oh, okay.
I had not thought of that. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, because I assume it's very dangerous to do that.
I'm going to assume like there is.
Yeah, I think you get sucked into the sluice gates. To be honest.
Yeah, there is. If you look at images of Lady Bower Dam, it has these 2 massive holes, like concrete holes on either side of it, and you get arrested and sent to jail for quite a long time if you go and play on them. Because
really?
It's so dangerous. They're kind of like drain away holes. If the reservoir gets too high, all the water drains into these 2 holes, and it creates really cool whirlpool-y stuff. But yeah, a guy got
Super
onto
dangerous.
them last year and ended up being arrested and went to jail because of it, because it was so dangerous.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you don't really want to be going swimming in these, at least close to the dam. Maybe.
Yeah, no, I guess what Sarah's thinking is like, because it seems at some point, or a possibility is that we go investigate the village, but there's no way to get down there easily. So that's why I was wondering if we could borrow in quotation marks scuba kit. Yeah, but if there isn't any, I assume there wouldn't be any.
There wouldn't be
just
any,
checking.
and it just kind of thinking of the concept of this because you put it in my head now.
Yes, I'm just
I assume it would be possible, but you would have to be a professional, high-level scuba diver to be able to do it.
Yeah, no
so
worries,
if you want to
that's
spend
fine.
the next couple of years training and then going and like stop the mystery now and come back in like 5-6 years as a professional scuba diver, I'm good with that.
Mate, I've got a maths exam on Friday. I've got bigger problems. Cool. All right. Yeah, I guess unless anyone else has any idea, I don't think we can actually go see the village and like see if these 3 buildings are there. But we could get close to the dam, perhaps, and see if there's anything else around there. Any thoughts?
I think getting back to the dam is a very good idea at this point.
Oh well. My
Henry?
mother's awaiting me, but well. Let's go.
Henry, do you want to come?
Yeah, sure.
I'll tell your face then, and then everyone piles in the car.
Shotgun.
Oh no!
What I'm gonna say, I'm gonna throw, because obviously Jane has just said her mum wants her home.
Sure, yeah. Do it.
It's now probably about 5:10 in the evening. And your dad wants you to work from 5:30.
Oh no, I forgot responsibilities.
So responsibilities.
Sorry.
But also, I'm also aware that we're in like the important stretch of the story, and we're also looking at a time limit on the length that we can run this game. So if you want to do responsibilities, we can just fast forward a day. So it's now 3:30 the next day, and you've got the car again.
You know what? No, I'd say actually fuck this. This is more important.
Fuck my job.
You
It's
just
more
go
important.
for it. I'm playing Jack as quite lucky that his parents barely know he exists, so
Yeah.
I've got the freedom to just go. Like my parents, I say lucky. Obviously,
They
not
let you
in
do it,
not in IRL, but you know, from his perspective, his parents don't even acknowledge him really. So yeah,
Well, what we could
Jack
do
can
then
go.
is hopefully if we can get through the story and the mystery aspect of it,
tie up at the end.
then at the end we can have that like 5-10 minute each as to kind of like where the fuck have you been, parent,
Yeah,
real
I
life
think
situation.
that makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah,
We'll do it
yeah.
that way then.
Just easier.
Yeah, I'm just kind of obviously looking at time and thinking about getting
Same.
through the story and stuff. So cool. Yeah. So okay. You get in the car, and because you've got a car, it's a 10-minute drive up to the bottom of Lady Bowerdown. Because
But Jack has put on the most ridiculous like Kerrang tunes, and I'm just hating every moment of it.
100%. Faith No More, probably. Let's bang on some Faith No More. Really loud.
Poor Henry and Jane are in the back next to sodden newspapers and
the
day-old
half-eat-
chips.
Yeah, half-eaten day old. There's a fish there as well, like soggy.
Oh, that's definitely on
soggy
the floor though. It fell out of the. It fell out.
Hang on, this is from yesterday. Oh, this is
Yeah.
you did some deliveries yesterday, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. One of what's his name's fingers as well.
Oh no!
It's fish fingers now.
No!
Oh.
All right, we fast forward. We're at the reservoir.
Yes.
you're at the parking lot at the bottom of the reservoirs. You can see the old, and you've seen them around, and now you know what they are. But there's like just an old. Trying to think of what you'd call them, but it's like those mobile huts that we used in the 60s and 70s.
Prefab.
Kind of prefabs, but they're also, they can pick them up and move them. We had a load at my high school because we had too many children and not enough classrooms, so we had to get a load of these random things that you stick on a lorry, and they stuck them in the middle of a field, and these were classrooms. And they just like stick two halves of a house together, and yeah, they're a bit shit. But there's those there, and behind that, there's the old offices that are also prefab, but probably full of asbestos, which is why they've got these new kind of crappy things. But they're all abandoned. They're not used anymore. It's all moving over to electronic and computer controlled stuff, and it's got a minimal staff. There, just like a normal workman and maybe a security guard who hangs around. But he's old and not very fast.
I've got a contact. Can I roll to see if I know him?
If you can give me a good reason why you know him, and I'm guessing you mean the security guard here.
Yeah, the old guy. Yeah, the old boy.
Give me a good reason why you know him. Why does Jack know this guy? And
He's one of my uncles, and by uncles I mean a person that my dad goes to the pub with.
Uncle Jimmy.
Yeah, Uncle Jimmy, weird Uncle Jimmy. No, I don't want to play that game. Sorry, sorry. Right.
Bad Rob.
Yes.
Bad.
Very bad, Rob.
Like just one of a family friend, basically.
Cool. So his family friend who your dad goes drinking. So you know him, but you're not friendly with him, really. He's friendly with. Yeah.
Yeah. Shall I roll that? Because it's actually a skill, isn't it? Contact.
Is it?
Yeah. It comes under heart.
Contact. Yeah.
Okay. I'll say no. Yeah. Roll at me, and we'll see how friendly he is towards you.
Yeah.
That'll be the response.
Ah, shit. Yeah, failure. Nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, he fucking hates you. He
Yeah.
knows you.
Yes.
He hates
God
you,
damn
and he
it.
hates your dad. But your dad is it's like it's a small village and not many people. There's not many people in the pub, so he's
just a similar age. So basically.
So
Yeah.
your dad's
damn it.
successful. Your dad has a real job. He's not stuck out in the rain,
Right.
walking around telling young kids to piss off.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go up all piss and vinegar and be like, "Hey, Uncle Johnny." And
Fuck
it's just
off,
like,
Jack.
Fuck off. Yeah. All right. Sorry, but I think in that try and distract. So he knows I'm here, but hopefully while I'm sort of talking to him, the other three can sneak under the fence or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get the other three. You're going to try and get them into the buildings.
Yeah, and I'm going to take the upset condition. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fuck off, Jack. Oh.
Don't you come back no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. No,
Right.
you don't get that one for the Eurovision thing because it wasn't a Eurovision song.
No, good.
But at least you got to hear me sting.
Right, have we got them in?
Probably not a good thing. Yeah, no, because they're going to have to sneak.
Oh. All right. But-
Sneak body.
Yep.
You're all going to get help from this because Jack is distracting the guy by being abused by him, effectively. Verbally
Yeah,
abused.
by being a bit upset now.
All right.
I've lost my bottle opener.
2 successes.
Germany's just come on and I've got some Weiss beer, so I need to open the Weiss beer.
No success.
Truth.
Did anyone get any successes?
I got 2 successes.
Oh, nice.
So Sarah,
2 successes.
So Sarah got 2, Jane none, Tom none.
Right.
Henry none, sorry, Henry. It's because I look round and I've put your character name second, so I'm just looking round and all I see is the first name, and I keep thinking it's the first name. So Sarah, I will let you pass that one off onto another person.
I'm going to say I would pass it on to Henry. I think I would go underneath and then help the next person through.
Yeah.
And then Jane would come after.
Like a chameleon.
Yeah, so Sarah and Jane, you managed to make it under the fence and scoot across to the building.
Sarah and Henry.
Sarah Henry.
Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Sarah
Henry.
Jane. That's fine.
It's because Sarah Jane is a name, isn't it? Sarah Jane
yeah, it
is
is,
an actual name.
it's-
So
It's Doctor Who, isn't it? As
Yeah.
well. So yeah.
I just anyway, Sarah and Henry managed to scoot across to one of the buildings and managed to hide behind the buildings. But as you disappear behind the buildings, the uncle, what did we call it? What did you call him?
Jimmy.
Johnny.
Uncle Jim,
Oh.
Uncle Johnny, Uncle Jimmy, Uncle arsehole, has finished berating Jack for disturbing him, and turns around and sees Jane running across the open ground towards the
Oh
office.
no.
Oi! You! What the hell do you think you're bloody doing? Get off!
I stop immediately and get back up again, turning around, looking at whoever has been shouting at me there, and sweating a bit. I'm blushing. Sorry. I was looking for some plant here. We have to do homework for biology. Isn't this Tethervert here?
Oh,
And
I
I
don't know.
point at a plant a bit away from the place where the others went through, but
just
near
some
enough
random
that
weed on the floor. He's like,
yes. So
he looks at you and goes, how the fuck should I know what that plant or fucking weed is? I don't know what it is. I'm just here to stop you from fucking go look at it, go pick it up or whatever it is, and then get out of here. And you,
Okay.
Jack, you can piss off as well. And he just storms off.
As soon as he's off, should we hop under the fence?
Yeah, so he's
Yeah.
out of sight now.
Yeah, he stormed off, but he knows that you have been around now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take that bump. I think I'll be like, let's go.
Yeah, cool. And you do eventually make it around the corner, but obviously you're now aware that if you are seen again by this guy, you are in big trouble.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so we're all sort of together with the buildings.
All the buildings, all the kind of like actual permanent buildings, they're all boarded up with. Some of them got wood over the window. Some of them got that metal grating over the window that has holes in it. The door has the front door has a metal grate over the top of it. Again with a very rusty looking padlock on it. There's no clear, easy way in that you can get at a glance. The prefab temporary buildings, they're not connected to the main building, and you can kind of look underneath, and they're not connected to the floor or anything. They're kind of like on stilts and stuff. So, where do you want to go?
TikTok.
Is there? It probably sounds like a very stupid question. Is there any building that definitely says 7 water on it or sanitation?
There's a big sign above the building which looks like it kind of an old wooden sign. It's kind of peeling and rotting. That looks like it might have said 7 water on it.
Perfect.
I'm wondering if we can go. Can we get under them? You said that there's
Stilts,
they're on stilts. Yeah, could you
that's
think
the
we could get
that's the temporary buildings,
right?
but they're not connected to the main
Right.
hub. They're kind of like just away. They're like temporary off, like you'd get nowadays when they'd have the old container boxes that are used as office blocks.
Offices. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically those things, but they're not made out of containers. They're made out of less heavy material that won't feel like it's going to crush you if you crawl underneath it.
Try and pick a lock or something again.
Yeah.
Shall we give that a go? Try and get in the big building?
Yep.
Yes, the old
Right.
one.
The temporaries are definitely the wrong place.
Yeah, let's get in the big one. Shall I do a tinker check?
Who's going to have a look at the lock?
I've got a total of 4 with tinker. Anyone else?
Be able to help you with that. I could force it open, but maybe not.
So as you get there, you look at it and go, well, this is quite rusted. It's quite fucked. You could either try and force the lock, or you could probably just force through the door. It's on the dam. It's very wet. It's very damp. It's very rusted. It's old. It's not been well kept. So there's graffiti everywhere. It looks like maybe somebody has gone through before in the past. Like the top of the door's been bent over, which is why there's now a grate in front of it. So,
All right.
Do you want to give it a good kick?
I look at Jack. No, mine.
The thing you did before.
So I'll like ready myself up and I'll shoulder barge the door.
Before you do that, I'm going to make you think about the way. I'm not going to tell you, but I'm going to make you think. Which way do doors open?
Oh. Well, in this house, they open inward. True. Okay. I stop, realizing my mistake, and I'm like grab. Wait. All right. Again, very stupid question. Is there a door handle or like a thing to pull it? Then
basically, you could grab hold of the thing and just yank that. Like
okay.
Or get a
Because
stick in there or something. Or
I guess because in my head, any service buildings usually it's like you push open or it's an automatic door, but that's obviously
no. This is it's quite clearly a building from like the 1950s.
Exactly. So
okay,
cool.
It's a manual door.
Cool. I will then unshoulder barge and shoulder barge the other day, but grabbing the door with me. Try and pull it against the lock and break it.
Opposite shoulder barge open. We've invented a new D&D skill.
No, you said try and be quiet. No one said that before I tried to shoulder barge the door. So,
As I say, this is a game that is a fail forward system. So just think about what might happen if you don't get a 6.
So would this be a body force check?
Yeah, body force. That's the one.
Cool.
Couldn't remember whether it was strength or force.
That's fine. Well, I would say that if I don't succeed,
if you don't succeed, it's opening, but it's very fucking loud.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. I was gonna say I'd also get injured as well because I've got an injury on my knee from previously.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Okay. I'm happy to take that, I guess, because I know we've been talking about like taking conditions and stuff. But okay.
Yeah, we're getting to a point where things might be interesting soon.
Oh dear. That's 1-6 so far. I'll go roll number 3. 1-6 out of a total of 8.
Well, I suppose I should have given you an extra dice. I can give you an extra dice as well because there's
no
people having
the lucky one,
the lucky extra dice that does nothing.
Yeah. Where were you?
Why didn't you help me better?
Yeah.
So you managed to force the door open. You lean on it and you just kind of jimmy it and shake it around a bit, and then pop it. But as soon as you pop it, you hear that it's going to make a loud noise. So you stop pulling, and then you slowly kind of like everyone gets together and kind of like opens it up and you manage to get inside, and then you're inside the building. In front of you is a long corridor, painted in the same kind of horrible beige colour that the outside of the building was. The paint is peeling. It smells of damp and mold and rat droppings. And the corridor leads on forward, and there are doors on either side, kind of going into what look like they might be going into office rooms. There are broken lights hanging from the ceiling. So another thing that kind of makes you feel that this building is old. They're not strip lights; they are bulbs that hang down the room.
Oh god!
On the floor is just like all sorts of detritus. There's Coke cans. You see in one corner, in one kind of doorway, there's a discarded needle, as if people have been in here before. There's discarded bottles of wine and like empty bottles of wine and things lying around, and cans of strong brew and things. So it's quite clearly at one point been used by homeless people. But yeah, the only light that is entering into the building is around the doorway and the open door that is currently behind you.
Did we bring torches?
I would say no.
Yeah.
It sounds like we came here, got out of a car, ran past your uncle, and we came in not prepared.
He's not really my uncle.
If someone wants to take me condition, if someone wants to take a condition, I'll say you do have torches, just for convenience sake, because we are, again, it's all that kind of time thing.
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
Cool. I would say it'd probably either be Jane or Henry, because they seem to be the more forward-thinking of the group.
Yeah, say it, David. Say it.
The more intelligent.
I think it was Jane.
Yeah. Maybe you.
I was going to say it could be Jack.
Father...
I was thinking it could be Jack or Henry, because you could have nicked the torches from the mine. If you want to be proper teenagers, Jack.
This sounds like a Jane thing that she's actually prepared.
Yeah.
Maybe she actually found a torch in Sarah's father's car.
Yeah.
It has a chip stuck to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for late night deliveries.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a proper old-fashioned long torch as well.
Near the fish.
Yeah. Oh, the fish would have been on top of it for sure.
Yeah. It's very greasy, and you kind of have to kind of hold it with just tips of your fingers, so you don't
like so.
Maybe
Yeah.
I was gonna say just wipe it over somebody, just clean and take off the grease.
No, Jane's too nice. Jane wouldn't do that.
No, I don't think she would.
Jane,
you were
Jane
think- you
is
were thinking
definitely the
about
best of
it.
us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No.
She lies to her parents.
Yeah,
That's the least of your troubles right now.
yeah,
These
so.
two have buried a body.
yeah.
Those two
But
have
she's
buried a
bad-
body, nearly been
Sarah's
caught,
bad at
and you are
running.
now creeping around an abandoned building.
That's true.
Yeah,
I've been
right.
banned from the computers. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's
Welcome to teenage life.
let's discover. Let's press on. We need to find. I mean, I don't know what. What are we even looking for?
anything.
Fine.
Anything.
Just
Yeah.
proof that we're not lying. There's
I
more
want to
here.
know what this thing in his head was.
So we need to find personnel documents, maybe something like that, HR kind of stuff.
Yeah, or just general stuff. I don't know.
Files.
Yeah,
Oh.
let's try and find like some of the old admin, the storage rooms and stuff. See if anything's been left there.
Mm.
All
Yeah.
right. We go to HR.
Yeah, HR in the 60s, as if.
It's like one ring binder.
Yeah. It says boys will be boys. What? That's literally it.
Yeah,
Right.
any kind of offices essentially that have filing cabinets.
As you spend a good half an hour, 45 minutes walking around the rooms that are kind of on the surface level. Well, not surface level, but on the front of the building. So as you go through, you realise there are stairs within the building that kind of lead up and down and further into the dam and underground and stuff. But the offices and things around the surface level, which you'd kind of have guessed would be kind of like the HR and like the general front of the building. There are like discarded tables and chairs in these places. It has been thoroughly trashed. The entire building is just like there's piles of burnt papers in the corners from when people have maybe tried to keep warm one night and just found things and burnt them. There is nothing of any use in there, and the things that you do find that you might think that might be useful, all you get from is that it belonged to Seven Water. It just looked like general office paraphernalia, nothing of any interest or importance. As I say, as you're doing this, you notice there are stairs that go obviously to a couple of other floors, but they're kind of going up into the dam, and there are faded signs on the walls which says hydroelectric plant, and then there are stairs that are going down when it just says basement.
No.
Yes.
Also, I wasn't just watching something earlier for rural Gothic where I see Cedric was talking about basements and things within rural suburban Gothic
Great basement.
things.
Yeah.
So basements.
How far away from the dam are the submerged villages? Could it be that
So
there
this
actually are tunnels leading there if we go down?
So you know that Ladybauer is the only reservoir that doesn't have a submerged village in it. Howden and Derwent do. They're named after the villages that they submerged. But you've also it is still a very big possibility that there could be passageways under there.
Yeah.
It looks like if you because you are at the base of the dam at the moment. This is like the very bottom of the dam. So if you go down, it would take you underneath. Like in your thinking, you're like, well, if I go down, I'm going to be underneath the reservoir because I'm underneath the dam.
Things seem to be leading down, so I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Changes notes.
Jane, if you've got the lantern, you're going up front, and we'll go in our marching order.
Yes. I'm leading you down there.
The adrenaline, yeah.
Right. Let me just have a look for something. Really should remember that it's not a really detailed. It's one of the best, I think, one of the greatest character sheets in the world because there's not much on it and you don't need to remember much. But I still have to look it up every now and then. Could you all of you make me comprehend mind.
Oh, okay. All in the mind.
Ooh.
1 success.
Cool. Ooh, 2 for Jack.
3.
3 for Jane. Oh, cool. Right, so 3, I will tell you the information, and then Jane obviously gets to disseminate that how she will in the story. Do I ask Henry?
No, you don't.
Okay. Jane knows everything, and Henry doesn't know anything. He's at the back of the
Yeah,
marching
he's
order.
at the back, 1,000%.
I think this actually works right. So Jane is at the front, then Jack, then Sarah, and now and
Yeah,
then
and
Henry.
then
So it's
Henry.
like-
Yeah,
kind of-
And then we leave him behind because he doesn't see us
yeah,
anymore.
we rush past him.
no.
I turn back and go, there could be only one.
Here I stand.
Right. So basically that to me that was a perception check. Sarah and Jack, you hear something echoing from below. You can't tell what it is. You don't. It just sounds like some form of a noise occurred somewhere below you. Jane.
I'm going to tap.
No, so Jane, obviously she got her 3 successes, so she hears more, and I will let her use this information just to kind of explain it and how she hears it, how she likes. You hear what clearly sounds like something moving, but it's quite a long way away, and it's as if maybe something has someone or something has knocked against something and maybe knocked something over.
Is it the noise of steps, or could it be a machine moving?
You're unsure on that one. But it sounds as if there is something moving down there. It's not an animal. It's not a small animal. It's not a rat.
Mhm.
So it's a large. Whether it's a robot, because there are robots who
Yes.
dressed like 90s and 80s ski instructors in this world. I want to run this again. This is actually it's off topic. In the core book, there is actually a campaign, and I want to run it again. It's a brilliant campaign. I've run it before. I want to run it again, and these are from it. But yeah, so you know it's going to be something of possibly humanoid size.
Right.
But you've not met enough robots in your life to know whether it's a robot or not. You've heard of them.
Okay. So I lift my hand. Stop. Did you hear that? There's
I heard
something moving down there.
I heard something. I thought this is all abandoned.
Yeah, obviously not. Someone or something is moving down there.
But they
Should
might.
proceed quietly.
Yeah. Let's have a look, because actually they might be able to tell us something. I'll turn around and be like, "There's someone down there."
Okay.
I don't think we should. Well, we should, but at the same time, should we not have a backup plan?
I will be back in a sec.
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay,
We'll,
yeah.
we'll chat. Don't worry.
But the backup plan should be to run really fast, I think, in one direction, which is away
And out.
and out.
Right, leave through the front door. What do you think, Henry?
Where's Henry? Oh, God.
Oh God.
Oh,
Henry.
God.
Oh, shit. Did we leave him behind?
Okay.
Are you there?
Oh, bloody hell.
Ah! You just appear out of the dark behind me.
Yeah. Ah.
I turn
Henry,
around. Yeah, there's something down there. Again, just repeating all the same information that we've got.
Yeah.
Back to Henry.
So our plan,
Quiet.
so the plan
We can hear
is,
it. It can hear us.
oh shit, yeah, unless it's a cat.
Can cats not hear? Buzz?
I'm not going to answer any further than that. Just leave that hanging. So, yeah, like, because it could be someone who works here, which would be perfect. That's exactly what we want, right?
I'd not be too sure about that. Maybe it's a robot or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's 4 of us.
Some kind of guardian robot. I don't know.
Look, I don't want to be that person, but even I can't take a robot. Like, I mean, in a fight, or if I was running away, maybe. But I don't fancy our chances against any kind of robot down here.
Sarah, it's this or mass revision.
Shots fired.
All right.
Let's go find the robot. Let's go find the robot.
Let's go break the robot's legs. Don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I like the fact that you're assuming it's a robot here because I've just spoken a lot about
These
robots.
guys said it was a robot.
Jane said it was a robot. And then we're getting I like the idea we're getting
Might-
louder and louder at this point.
It might
Jane said it's a
be
robot.
No, I didn't. Just assumed it could be. So,
Right. Let's
Head
go
down quietly. But if first sign of trouble, run back upstairs.
Run. Yeah,
All right.
cheese it.
Cheese it.
Yeah, running stairs in the darkness.
The code word is cheese it.
Cheese it.
Sure.
I love the
Or
fact
just
that you,
run.
Yeah, you're probably going to be abandoning Henry down here if you do that.
He'll be fine.
There can be only one. Just
Well,
Well, I think
only one.
I think
the
you've now
king.
found your sacrificial lamb. It may be the youngest one because he's the one who's like, fuck you all.
I'm the fastest. No, you're good at distance.
Wait, okay. What we'll do is we will run another game of this in the future where we'll have Jack and Sarah compete in a race.
A race. Yeah.
Sports day. Oh my
Fine.
goodness.
Let's find
Anyway,
let's find this robot.
1997.
we're going downstairs.
yes.
So you're going to go downstairs. You continue going downstairs. The stairs go on for quite some time. So you've heard this noise, and then and you know it's come from down below. But you keep going down, and it takes you a good 4 or 5 minutes to get to the bottom of these stairs. You go down a good 20 flights of stairs. You are deep now. Deep in the ground. Deep below what you would consider the level of the reservoir. And remember, this is the lowest reservoir as well. So you've got, on either side of you, mountains that rise up. I want to say hundreds of meters, but the highest mountain in England's like 350 odd-ish. A couple of meters.
Yeah.
England doesn't have very high mountains.
Tens of meters. Tens of meters.
Tens of meters. It's not like going into the mountains of Switzerland where you literally have nearly a mile of mountain above you. This is England. It's not very scary. So you get down there, and then at the bottom, there's a doorway, and again it looks like at one point it would have been quite a secure door. There is a keypad to one side of it that looks like it could have taken a swipe barcode, or it could have taken like a thumbprint or something. But it looks old. It looks quite old. And it's like this is modern tech even now. Thumbprint scanning.
Did we pocket his ID? I assume we kept that. One of the only things that.
Yes, Sarah. Sarah, where's the ID, Sarah?
Look, this stuff looks way too new. We clearly can't. I don't think the ID thing would work. And I believe there wasn't a bar thing on the back of it. It was just a general sort of ID.
That may be in a piece of information I forgot off. There is a barcode. There was a barcode on the back
how
of
could
it.
you? The betrayal.
Turns out it was a big gold key.
Hashtag blame the GM.
I saw a movie last week in which they opened and closed a lot of doors by shooting them. So maybe if we had a gun.
Great,
If
Henry.
only.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, the door's not locked. It looks like it would. As I say, it looks like at one point it would have been.
Oh,
Right, okay.
conveniently.
So yeah, hashtag blame the GM. Also, hashtag blame the players for not listening to what the GM just said.
The door's open. Let's go.
All right, slowly creak open the door. Allow Jane to go first if she wishes to.
Yeah, Jay's the best.
Yeah.
We got
Leave
your
us to
back.
die
Don't worry,
downstairs.
Jay. We got your back.
We got
We're
your
right
back.
behind
We're right behind you. 20 flights of stairs behind you.
And I
Just a little
think
bit more, just a
before
little bit more.
Before opening the door, I'll switch off the torch.
And it goes
So maybe after opening, we can see if there's something in there, because maybe there's light in the other room, and whatever is in there will not notice us immediately because of the torch.
Yeah. The door swings into the building, so away from you this time.
Oh! For Jane, it goes in. For Sarah, it comes out.
Doors on the outside of
Whatever.
buildings generally open outwards.
No, they don't. They
Where
definitely
the
open-
fuck do you
anyway.
live?
Not
Doors-
in this Lake
doors-
District.
Doors open inwards. I just pictured the front door of my house. That comes in.
Anyway,
The front doors of my building over there.
I'll open the door regardless of the way it opens.
yes. Jane is having this like, I'm off.
Fuck
Yeah,
you all
but-
having this argument about doors. I'm opening one. So yeah, but as you turn off, you know that as soon as you turn off that torch, it is going to be pitch black. There is no lights. There's no other light source. When you were at the top of the stairs, there was a faint glow from the door that you left open. Because I'm being an arsehole GM now, and I'm going to tell you because no one said it. You forgot to close the door
Oh, that's fine.
behind you. It is open.
Good, because we need to get away out.
Yeah, we need to get away, yeah.
Yeah, but there's also a guy who knows that you're here, and he's pissed
Yeah.
off that you're
Oh, he'll come and help us.
here. Possibly.
Oh no.
Either that, he'll just shut the door and lock you in. But yeah, anyway, so you know that as soon as you turn that torch off, it's going to be pitch black. So you get yourself ready to open the door before you turn the torch off. Turn the torch off and you push the door open. And it opens. It's a little bit stiff. But it certainly seems to be a better door than a lot of the others within the building. It seems to be made out of quite strong steel. It's reinforced. And it's quite thick, but because it seems to be kind of like one of those reinforced doors, the hinges seem to be quite good. It's not like an office wooden door that can be kicked in or anything, but it seems... And at one point, it might... That mechanical lock at the door, it has bolts down it, which would have bolted the door closed. And it's... Obviously, you can't see this at the moment because the torch is off. But it does. It swings open with a little bit of a push. And there is... You hear the kind of like the shifting of detritus behind it, and you open up into the corridor, and it's pitch black. You don't see anything, but you
Nice.
do hear
No.
something
Oh.
coming from deep further down. You hear a moan. It is
No.
definitely a voice, a not mechanical voice, but it's more of a moan of kind of like pain or injury or an animal in or human in distress or something.
Okay. But I don't hear the moving sound anymore.
Nope.
Okay.
Torch up
It
on
sounded
torch.
like that movement sound was just basically, it sounded like something had knocked into something and knocked something over.
And we couldn't have passed the thing that caused this noise already. Okay. I turn it on again, right?
Yes.
Put the torch on.
It seems someone is down there. And I put it on again.
Yeah. So as you put the torch on, you see quite a long corridor in front of you. It stretches out in the distance for a while, and then you kind of catch again glints of doorways on the side. And as you kind of scan the torch around, looking at what's around, and it seems the main beam catches on one of the doors more than it would have, as it was just kind of scanning. You hear the noise is like that moaning noise is like, and then you hear a slam, as if something has hit the door. And it starts to shake as if something is shaking the door. Could you all roll me a comprehend mind check again?
Oh no!
This one is actually going to be a comprehend rather than a kind of.
Oh no! Big failure. Big fat failure.
You're scared shitless.
Is that the scared? Yeah, scared condition.
I'll let you decide if you want to take the scared condition or not.
I think so.
Yeah, as you can tell, we are quite close to kind of.
Sounds right.
So, yeah.
If I'm scared, there is a condition for it. I shall be that condition.
Sarah, you got one success. Jane?
Yep.
I got no successes, and by the way, we didn't define the condition for the torch. And maybe I should have rolled one die less now.
Oh yeah, so if you have already taken if you've taken an upset and a scared condition or a scare condition, you are at -1 to this roll.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, I'm scared.
Yeah. But we're going to fail forwards. If you fail the roll, just I will let you decide whether you want to take the scare condition or not. Because if you all take the scare condition, you're all fucking off, and you just kind of like, well, screw this, screw the mystery, game over. If you want to, you can do that. I don't mind.
Who succeeded, Henry?
Maybe Henry did.
Yay!
Henry for the win! He can't see anything, so he doesn't really care. He doesn't know how dark and scary it really is. So Henry, yes, you what? How many successes did you get?
1.
Okay. Sarah, we'll say you got 1 success as well.
I got one success
for all of sake of dealing with that. You within the noises of the groaning and grunting that is coming from that thing down the hallway. You pick up words from it. You pick up 3 distinct words. Help. Kill. Me. In that order. And it's repeated. So it's like, help. Kill me. And you realize it sounds like a creature or human or something in a lot of pain. It's in extreme agony. It is a pleading sound rather than I want to eat you kind of sound. Except Jane and Jack actually think it tries to want to eat them. They don't hear this and they're like, oh my god, we're gonna die.
Yeah, I think Jack would begin to try and push his way through everyone to get to the back. Like, this is a lot. This is a lot for a Monday evening. This is yes.
Great start to the week, by the way. Fantastic way to start the week.
Yeah, I think the excitement of exploring suddenly drops, and it's like, holy shit, where are we?
No.
So
no.
a full on pushback. No, I'm out of here, kind of thing.
So I should feel frightened, but this is maybe something I was looking for. So I look through my pockets, and this is much easier since the others probably can't see what I will give them. But on my several visits to the dam and the caves, I gathered all kinds of materials like stones and feathers and stuff, and I made tiny fetishes from them. So I grab Jack, try to find his hand and give him one of these, and then I will whisper into his direction, "These will help."
I'm gonna try and feel what it is. Like, I'm kind of very confused about this. So I'm gonna try and touch it and see what it is.
It is very, very tactile. Very, you get lots of edges and stuff. So your fingers can hold onto something. It is made of rubbish, but nobody can see this right now.
Yeah. Does it help, Jim? Does it calm? Like having this thing suddenly thrust into your hand and told it helped. Okay. Has it helped?
So this is actually reminded me about a rule that we've kind of forgotten about because it's something that only comes up very rarely. It's usually once per. It generally says once per scenario, but I used to when I ran this before, I say once per session. You all each have a special item. So Henry's is these fetishes. Jack, I think it's one of your hoodies, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 90 Tales hoodie.
Yeah, Jane, you've got. I think you said it was your pen and notepad, and I can't remember what Sarah's is.
Is this an iconic item?
Yeah, your iconic item.
Oh, it's my dad's car. We've been using it this whole
You've been
time.
using it a lot, so that's fine. But you can use that in a story aspect and in a way to gain up to 3 extra dice on a roll.
Oh, okay.
So we can, at some point, when Henry and Jack need to do something together, we can use this fetish that is now shared between you to add those 3 dice from the fetish with a +1 for their help roll to get 4 dice to something that they do together. Unless Henry wants to just take it back and use it himself to do something.
No, I definitely don't want to.
Yeah. So it's something that you can use together. So it's kind of a hard concept to do with a lot of things within the game because iconic items are something which are meant to be very, very personal to the character. So here we go. Jack has his hoodies. It's kind of hard to work those in.
Yeah.
And again, Jane.
Yeah, I was thinking that
and stuff like that. So it's why they generally only get used once per scenario because then you have to think of a very specific situation why they get fitted into this. But also, I've just realised as well, Jack, where are you? What kind of atmosphere are you in at the moment?
Oh, yeah. Really scared.
Yes. So...
Yeah. Ironically, I'm wearing, if this helps, a Nine Inch Nails hoodie for the release of the song The Great Below.
Wow.
Yes. So, Jack, even though you are having this question, I am going to put you at a further -1 to anything to do with your mind.
Right, sure. Yeah.
And so, again, this is something that's not come up very much because it's something which is quite easy as a GM to forget because it's all very situational. And it's not something that is open information to all the other players. But each player has I want to call it a scar, but it's not a scar. But they have a phobia or a fear or something that is secret and they hold within themselves that can provide negatives to what they do. And Jack's just so happens to be he can't hide his fears. And his greatest fear is...
Girls.
No,
Amazing.
It's being underground in very dark conditions, kind of thing. So exactly this, basically. So Jack's gonna properly be losing it now, just like fully regress
I
to.
think the fetish helps because
Right,
it
but
gives you
it's-
something for your hands to occupy yourself with, and Henry is being quite consoling with you and stuff.
Yeah,
But anything that now involves your mind, because you now
Yeah.
have to go into a situation where it's like, there is fucking something weird down there. Yeah, fuck this shit. So you're going to be a further -1.
yeah. I'm basically now imploring for us to get out.
Yeah.
That'll be my current contribution to the situation.
Good to know.
But yes, we are. So I'm going to do the whole thing here. We are at 3-hour mark now, and we are quite clearly at an important mark. Is everybody in the group okay to continue for maybe another half an hour or so?
I certainly am. Yeah, that's %.
I will.
Yes.
I will not. We'll skip the whole real life thing at the end of it, because that will probably be another hour or so. But we'll get past this moaning weird thing that says "help kill me."
Sounds good.
And then we'll leave you to have some sweet dreams at the end of it. But yeah, so cool. Jack is basically shitting himself. What do you do now? Do Sarah and Jane mention what they can hear? Not Sarah and Jane. Sarah
I
and
didn't
Henry.
hear it.
Sarah and Henry.
Sorry, Jane, were you going to do something?
What?
I think she was correcting me for being shit.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Sorry, because I know Jane's at the front, and obviously, so it was Jane, Jack, me, and then Henry. And so the two people at the back can hear it. But
Jack's
obviously these
now
two-
at the back.
Oh, Jack's moved to the back. Yeah. Oh God. I think I'd come up to Jane, and I'd ask for the torch to go ahead.
What was that? I heard something.
It's in pain, whatever it is. I'm gonna go for a quick closer look.
Okay. I hand you the torch.
And possibly for the first time in Sarah's life, she goes ahead and not as sort of like to do something isn't like putting on a bravado or something. It's desperately trying to find out what it is, and she'll keep moving slowly towards it. And obviously, if anyone stops or anyone shouts to her, so then they can do. But the intention is to go up to the door and see what there's there. Everyone just leaves Sarah to die in the dam. Yeah, bye.
I'm going to follow you closely.
I still holding on to Jack. And I'm probably feeling that you're still very frightened and I
Very
take a
much so.
gamble. I take a gamble and say, you have to lead me. Follow them.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I like that.
Mm.
Can I roll to see if that works?
I can also plant this idea into your head, but maybe it's better if you are rolling the dice.
I'm more keen to not have the dice roll, to be honest, and let you decide on that one.
Yeah.
I think that would work. I think that's really good.
I think that's really good.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a good
I
way
think
of.
it's a really good thing because obviously
Yeah.
Henry's picking up on your feelings and he's definitely trying to help you. He's giving you the fetish to kind of calm you
Yeah.
down a little bit. He's asking for your help, so you have to step up and be
Yeah.
the braver man. He's putting
Yeah.
you in situations that make you a better person. So I'm going to say no, you don't need to roll for that.
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, I think that's perfect. And yes, I will realise that. And yeah, like try and lead you in a way where I don't have to hold your hand because I'm a 15-year-old boy. So I'm gonna like try and grab your jacket arm or something and lead you on because I can't quite comprehend my own sexuality as a 15-year-old.
I'm going to also ask here on Henry's point of view. Henry, have you, because we know that you are losing your eyesight, are you beginning to train how to cope with this and knowing that at some point you will be blind? Are you training yourself? Do you understand how being blind, how you should behave, and when people are leading you around, how these things should happen yet or not? So
I think
because there's a very specific thing here that I'm thinking of that relates to whether you understand this or not.
I think he would really like to, on the one hand. On the other hand, he is in important areas of his life still in denial of that's happening. And his parents don't have much time for him. So
I'll say you don't know this piece of information. Then
Yeah.
you're still in denial, so you don't know how a blind person needs to be led. And just for information out there for people, if a blind person is being led there, the blind person puts their hand on the person's shoulder, who the sighted person. So the sighted person does not grab them and lead them because that's disorientating and the body can jerk. But if the blind person puts the hand on the shoulder, they can
Or on
feel
the
where the
elbow.
body goes without being jerked around. So you can thank Bite a Grove for that piece of information.
Ah, very good.
It may all be crap now in modern day life, so if there's anybody out there who knows better information there, do let me know. I want to learn these things and know all these good things. But yeah, so cool. You all head towards the door that is shaking, and you can hear this creature, this possible human creature, crying out. As you pass a few doors as you go down, and you realise that the doors look like cells. They are metallic doors. They are very, very sturdy. Some of them have rotted off their hinges and stuff. But they all have a slot in them. And because this is stereotypical horror, they have bars and you can see through them. And it's like, because why not? And you get closer to the one that you can hear, and you can see on the bars where the window is, you can see hands, near skeletal, thin fingers gripping the bars, white and pasty, as if they've not seen sun in many, many, many years, shaking the door.
I would stop maybe about a couple of feet from the door,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd say aloud, "We're here to help. Can you stand back so we can take a better look at you?"
You can now clearly hear the words that come out of his mouth, and this time it changes. It's stronger. Help! Kill me! Kill me! Please! Die!
I'll do that thing you always do in horror films, and the light across the door it goes across the camera, and we see.
You see a face that is nearly familiar to you from a couple of hours ago. It's much older than the image you saw in the newspapers of an 18-year-old boy.
Oh no.
He is now 46 years old, but the sunken, skeletal bald creature that clings at the doorway shares features of the 18-year-old who went missing in 1968. The light of the torch also glints off something metallic on the side of his head. The skin is pale. The skin around the eye sockets is sunken and blackened and reddened and drawn tight. His lips near non-existent. You get a vague glimpse of what's in his mouth. There's maybe 2 teeth left. He looks as if he has not eaten in 5 or 6, maybe 10, 15 years. He's that emaciated. It is as his skin is literally painted onto bones. And as I say, content warning. We are now in a real horror game. And it's not just about math.
Oh god. This door that the creature is behind, obviously he's been shaking it and stuff like that. I'm guessing it still looks quite sturdy.
It looks sturdy without actually going up and testing it.
I'm not.
It
not
looks
anyway,
sturdy, but you can look at the guy and you can kind of look at him and you see that he's so skeletal that you wonder where the muscle is for him to even make any form of movement, let alone speak. It's as if something else is animating him.
My God, what did they do to him? I say to Sarah.
I don't know. Let's open the door.
Yes.
Can I see that, or am I still leading Henry forward, kind of thing? Like they've all stopped, because I want Henry to see the chip in the head, basically.
I'll let you decide on that one. Has Henry made Jack feel good enough to be close enough to see the door?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. So yes,
I think it's worked. So I will lead Henry towards the door so he can see, because I kind of figure that Henry's a bit like I think taking inspiration of him being able to show him around the mines a little bit. I'm like, you're good down here, kind of thing. So yeah, I'm going to lead Henry.
He's also the
up.
one who first noticed the chip in the skull of the
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything until everyone was with us. Yeah, because I wouldn't want for something to go wrong and then back the way we came. So
I think we need to get this door open. We need to free this person.
Yeah.
As you say, free the word free.
Uh-oh.
The creature becomes panicked. The boy or the man becomes panicked. No, free. Die free. Did you hear that? I don't know how well my mic picks that up.
Yeah, I got it.
I didn't get it.
No free, die free.
Yeah, no free, die free. That's what I got. Look, just take a step back. Let's look at the door. Trying to motion to this creature to F off briefly. And I kind of look to the others and I'm like, I think this one opens outwards.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not having arguments about fucking doors anymore.
Oh, it opens inwards. Never mind. But I will look to the others and say, shall I? Or do people want to
get him out?
As you are looking at the door as well,
yes,
and you're kind of trying to work out which way it opens, because that's now a thing.
It is a thing.
You notice that the door is not locked. It's actually slightly open.
Oh, mate.
And yes, it's rattling the door against its open cage. And the door will open whichever way you want it to open because I don't fucking care.
It's already slightly open. That is okay.
Let him out. He needs help. Let him out.
All right, and I'll give the torch back to Jane to hold, and sort of give everyone a knowing look, because Sarah's got these knowing looks now that we're going to put into it, so that if something comes out and it doesn't go well, just to book it essentially, so that you had some light. So I'll go and I'll be like, as this creature moved away from the door. Oh, it hasn't, has it?
I'll say yes. It has. It understands that you are there and that you are salvation, I suppose.
Oh. All right, I take a deep breath and I open the door outwards.
As you open the door outwards and the light shines into the cell, it is quite clearly a cell. What you have picked up from walking down the corridor was a smell of rot. But it's an old smell of rot. As soon as this door opens, you get the smell of death coming out of this room. It absolutely reeks of death. It's a smell that you've never smelt before. But you've seen enough movies to comprehend what you are smelling, and TV programs to understand that this utter stench that is coming from there. There is in the corner a pile of rotten brown bedding that may once have been used as an actual bed and laid across the floor, but it's now just piled into a corner and just kind of, in a way, gangrenous, as if there is something alive that is dying within it. It's not just old clothing anymore. There's something else within it. The floor is scattered with random bits of technology, like discarded technology and discarded computer boards, all broken and twisted. There's discarded food wrappers around and drink wrappers. Definitely not enough for someone to have survived on. But yet, cowering in the corner away from the light is this near skeletal person. And as you can now see his body, he is not wearing any clothes. The clothes that anybody would have worn, and of the 18-year-old boy that you saw in the photos, would not fit. They would just instantly fall off. But you also noticed that it's not just his head that has implants.
Oh no.
At random points across his body, there are other metallic objects. One where one of his lungs might be over his chest. One on his left hip that appears to kind of almost encase his entire left hip. His right foot seems to be metallic. On his back, at his lower spine, where his spine would meet his hips, there's a metallic plate. All of them have what look like chips, computer chips embedded within them. Some of them occasionally flash with small LEDs. The one across his heart, not his heart, across his chest, flashes in this regular motion that follows what, as you start to look at it, it's a breath. And all you hear him say is, "Help, kill me." You also notice that across the walls are inscribed an insignia you have seen before on a card that you no longer have. the Ministry of Defense, the MOD, eagle thing, and the letters MOD are carved bloodily into the wall. Fingernails left in certain parts. It is a dejected creature. A creature who is quite clearly in agony and wants to die.
Battery. There has to be a battery.
In the chest.
Inside him, or
I mean,
somebody?
I don't want to kill someone. They might want to die, but I'm not killing them.
I'll slowly, and I have my hands sort of out, open towards them, showing that I'm not armed, because I'm an 18-year-old girl. Slowly walk into the cell, closer to them. And he said they're sort of crouched down, away from, hiding away. I will hold out my hand to get them up onto their feet, if I can.
He shies away from the hand, but then kind of looks at you and kind of cocks his head to the side, smiles a little bit and goes, "Kill me?" As if there's a kind of a ray of hope within him that you might put him out of his decades of agony.
Sure. Just come with us. And sort of motion with the rest of my hand that we're going to go out of the cell. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about time-wise here.
It's fine. Feel free to railroad if you need
No.
to.
I'm thinking of. Yeah, he goes. Lead me to death.
Sure.
Roll me an empathize. Empathize mind.
All I care about is running. Of course, I don't have anything in that.
You can have +1 to this, and you can have +3 because everybody is there to kind of help you with it.
If that's all right with people,
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm guessing you're all probably you're all teenagers and you don't want to actually kill this.
Yeah, I don't want to kill anyone. Yeah, I want to lead this guy out.
Okay. 2 successes.
Cool. He believes you. He believes that you are going to lead him to his salvation. He looks at you as if you are near a beatific angel, that you are his way to a better life of well, not better life, but a better place that is not this eternal torment that he has had. And I don't like doing this, but I know that we have a hard time limit now.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to kind of spoil the atmosphere that's kind of been built up here, but you managed to get him to the exit. You managed to get him up to the stairs, and you managed to get him to the doorway that you're going through. That you came in, and he starts to panic as you get to this doorway. He looks at the light. It's like, no, light bad. But you managed to coerce him and get him out.
I think Henry might want to say something. Go for it, Henry.
Is there some sort of energy source on him?
Not that you can see, no.
I was thinking the same thing.
I won't let him go into this world where people are just going to cage him back in. We see what happened with the police. I won't let this person suffer any further.
Okay. What are you going to do? I'll let you take narrative. I'll let you take narrative control for this bit and think about kind of that. So,
as we come up again into the light, we don't have need for the light source for the torch anymore, and I don't know if Jane would support this or not. If not, I sneak it away from her.
I will support it.
Then I will gesture into your direction and ask for the torch.
Here, take it.
And I really, really hated that it has to be like this. I was praying the whole way up on these stairs that we might see a more obvious solution, something less painful.
I think I see this as sort of like we've got to the opening, and I catch eyes of Henry having the torch, and I sort of nod to him. And I'm like, come on, just cross the threshold. It'll be fine. And I want to be able to almost like of mice and men slightly. And just like, look, it's okay. Everything's gonna be okay.
He trusts you.
Yeah.
You've gained this trust of him. He thinks you are gonna. He literally sees that doorway, and the light between the doorway is. He understands what you're doing. He understands that crossing into the light is literally for him crossing into the light, and he smiles at you and he says, "Thank you."
And I end the life of this person, and maybe ours as well.
Oh.
Not in the literal sense, but
in the game
there could
sense.
be only one.
And the torch comes down and ends the life of this once 18-year-old intern at Seven Water. And we shall end the story here.
Amazing work, David.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Whoa.
I was thinking. I was wondering how. I was thinking through that. How would I end this? How would I end this? You know, we talked about the GM thing, and I think I would have done the evil option of we lead him out, and there's men in trench coats waiting for him, and you're just like, shit. That's when you realise there is no escape. Like, you know, you get out to the top, and yes, there are those guys in trench coats, just like top men.
There were multiple things going through my head as to kind of how I was going to end this.
Yeah.
And that was one of the possibilities. Like, do I go full on X-Files? Because we've always stated that this is X-Files Grain Chill. Like, do we then kind of do that, and then obviously you've then got the hint of a further mystery beyond that of who are these fuckers?
Oh, we've not solved this at all.
It wouldn't solve it. It would throw further mystery. The other one was you'd walk out the door and the security guard was going to come up and shoot him. It's like, why does he have a gun? People in England, like, we don't have guns.
They don't have guns.
And at this
Especially
point,
Uncle
I think we'd already had the incident that stops people carrying guns and police officers and things having guns. I think Dunblane had already happened.
Yeah, I think it had actually.
It's around. It's maybe a couple of years.
I think it was 1996. I think it was 1996.
Yeah, so there would have been a whole thing about guns, and that's really kind of, oh fuck, what's going on there? So there's other ways that I could have ended this. But what you've got here is you've solved the mystery,
The initial one, yeah.
the initial thing. But if at some point you guys would want to come back and maybe further the story as to kind of why the fuck has he got all this shit and how has he managed to live by himself in this underground bunker for so long, we can do that.
Yes, please.
Because
Absolutely.
that had some absolute gem comedy moments in it. Absolutely phenomenal, brilliant role playing by all of you. And then
At
I
one
did throw
point,
that real horror at you.
I didn't want to spoil it, but I wanted to say how good at you at maths at one point to the creature does it. But I was like, no, this has to end.
Yeah.
But you can also see, see where it kind of it has that real life thing within it, but then it can also it has the ability to be a great comedy fun RPG.
Oh yeah.
But then it
I
there
think-
is that horror
Yeah.
within it
I
because
think
you
it
suddenly
definitely
just
has
have
to end with all of that, he died there and the mystery of Seven Trentwater was never discovered. Sarah failed her maths exam. That would have to be the last line. It would
No.
just be like-
Sarah
Like the line of
aced her maths
duty.
exam
Yeah,
and went fuck you to her mum and actually got a job as a writer.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like that bit on Line of Duty where they always say, "Oh, the
Yeah.
mystery was unsolved. Sarah failed a maths exam."
That's exams. Yeah.
You just see us sat in the exam hall going, "Fuck."
Who gives a shit about maths? I've just killed somebody.
we put it in a murder.
Yeah. But cool. Anyway, this
Yes,
has
I
actually been
have to go. So amazing.
yeah. So just quickly say who you are, and you can
Hi.
sign off, and then I'll do everyone else while you've
Sure.
disappeared.
My name's Rob. I have a podcast. It's called Realm of Fire. It's great. Yes, very hot takes on the Warhammer universe because I'm cool.
Yeah.
But you can catch me on many Discords as Jelly Rovers. That's where I live.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
do
also
Twitter
this is
stuff
what I've
anymore.
just realised when you disappear, it's going to fuck everything up. So if you can you actually just kind of
I'll
like
hold on.
so we'll do this all very very quickly. So yeah, Full Metal RPG as well, isn't it, Rob?
Yeah, that's where you'll find me.
Right, we'll go the opposite way around. So we'll start with Fiona.
Cool. Hello. When I'm not accidentally killing people, my name is Fiona. I run the What Am I Rolling podcast, which is a twice monthly RPG one-shot podcast where we all do different kinds of RPGs and different one-shot systems. I'm also the co-host of the DM's Bookclub, which is a weekly book club sort of format. We take some Dungeons and Dragons, boo hiss, think how great it is, and then go, actually, how can we improve it in our role-playing campaign? So that's the What Am I Rolling podcast from the DM's Bookclub. You can find wherever you listen to podcasts, and that's me.
Cool. Then in the middle, our bodiless voice from the void.
Hi, I'm Tomer. I will be at Onyx PathCon this
Woohoo!
year and will be doing some streams. What I won't tell you until you see it. And then I might be on other awesome channels soonish. You can see this at my Twitter at Tomer2. And it was a delight to be part of this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice to have you actually play a game for once. And
Yeah.
then finally we have Sirion.
Yep, I'm Sirion, and you can find me on my Twitter at Sangvogel1. And that's it.
And I am your erstwhile drunken storyteller. What should we say? We'll start with drunken storyteller because that's what we're running under today. I have a podcast called The Drunken Storyteller where I get drunk and talk about folklore stuff. And the last episode I bitched about Vampire the Masquerade for a little bit when I was talking about London and vampires. So go check that out on any good podcasting stream. I talk about all sorts of folklore and folktales and just do weird shit and just get drunk and ramble. I'm also part of the Darker Days radio crew. I'm on their Dark Hammer series with Chris. I'm also I do some other stuff where I've talked about some of the Free League games like things from the Flood before. And we have just finished our Warhammer Fantasy Enemy Within campaign. That was last Sunday, which Fiona took part in. And
did.
what an ending that was, wasn't it?
What an ending.
What an ending.
As
You turn up when I destroy basically everything.
It was Clementine's very bad day. That's what I saw.
Yes, we're renaming it Clementine's Bad Day. So you can go check that out. Most of the episodes are out on YouTube. The final episode you can get on their Twitch service, and it will come on up on YouTube at some point. It was a fantastic campaign to run, and we will come back at some point in the future, but it's currently on hold. And you can find me at the Drunken Store 1 because fuck Twitter and character limits. But that has been our 2-shot things from the Flood game. I've got nothing lined up for next week, but I'm thinking I've got plans for things in the future. So this won't be a short-term thing. I'm going to do more stuff. So come and find us all and have some more fun. So we'll sign off now because Rob obviously has to disappear. So bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.